And here you know him say in a few hours now all is set for Omampeni, His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama so Baba Kwaku Kuta Afnanim, and he will swear the oath of allegiance and the oath of office. I think and one of the things that I will do is to read preamble no, to the Constitution, the oath of the president. Good evening. Jasu Jumediani, you are live on OK 101.7 FM. Our Shep House, Abeka Junction, mini production team, no Mr. Kojo Hansen, DOP, Adibediakon, any DJ all black, and Asia, and an Dema. With a countdown, a countdown to a friend saying 7th January, the Constitutional Day. And it's very significant as Adano has been selected as a constitutional day because Adano and Mahama and you see, this is a historic inauguration. The reason why at this 2025 inauguration we a historical inauguration because President Mahama created history that. And we all know the Nanameka before throughout this election campaign here, the Nanameka say President Mahama, we know he's created history, but we know Obesan creating more history, and this is that way. He has created history as the president, the only president and the fourth republic who has gone into opposition and returned back to the Jubilee House. See, a historical inauguration and speech at President Mahama Bema our Independence Square or Chinano is a historical speech. And you know, say his speech in the top for me. I know some writers now much his speech in the they are busy at work and they've been busy for more than a week trying to make sure say a friend saying speech now president at the Bebano is going to be one of the speeches they are phenomenal, and more so when expectation that President Mahama so high. And already look at the transition process. Look at Enra President Kufuado. Even I think that was President Kufuado, President-elect Mahama Mukoshia with Jubilee, era Julius Debra, a standing man, chief of staff. Look at even the transition process. I mean, look, Ghana, the whole world is smiling on Ghana, and the whole world is just applauding Ghana. Say, you're being to me. Only say it so happens, say 6 January, America for a fair almost certified or more election results. Said your more constitutional rules, no, etieno. Vice President not Tia Kunyaso, no, Mami Kamala Harris, or no. And all certified results, and they are doing it today, 6 January. And the same 6 January, no, so Ghana, no, your president, outgoing President Anado, any incoming president, President Mahama, Omakwako Shia, to go through the transitional period. And who they are, share more pictures, no. Now, what she said, it's just beautiful, say. And one I was his full soldiers in the supporters, because he and Pennyford, no matter how acrimonious. No matter how acrimonious the campaign becomes, a Drew said, Omushia, Omuhukra campaign, Omushia, Yase, Omushia program. I said, look at how beautiful, how respectful, how more engaging each other. But for soldiers in Kwan, the Drew, I don't know, say, Anna, debate in the annual penny for us, but almost said a cool, and they don't insult each other. There's nowhere. Omobema, Omunkita, who didn't know, so low down, baby, do one time, Debbie. And it's so beautiful. And then I who pictures no. Now many I just say Obia Bonsem because now Ghana, you see, I do America, UK for there, but at least your democracy, no, and it's good saying the next 20 years, no, Ghana, Mr. Yanam Nigeria for whom Ghana, the cost of Ghana, yeah, already try Nigeria from penny form because this kind of beautiful democratic transitional process, cost of America. 4 years ago, 4 years ago, America for any bizarre. But look at Ghana. Yen to a ben during the transition process and conform to share Jubilee and our parliament. So say what happened 6 January 4 years ago, America no. ABC or Ghana down. At least Ghana yen never be brenko ye but a ban multi-party democracy and see I want to look at this parliamentary issue. See parliamentary contest and talk and see what parliament near dear maintain one say. At the end of the day, what happened? Opia the one more to me court now. A community or parliament. They all went to court, and the court ordered. The EC cry a recollation. The court said the EC does not have the power to do that. They went back to court until the court ordered. It's not say. Now no me can't say be munti ase no mu kom koko apai no mu di matem. There's no amount of insult in the change due process and what the law says. Me see, the law does not lie in anybody's hands. It doesn't lie in anybody's anus. It doesn't lie in anybody's mouth. The law lies in court. What the court says is what the law is. Transformer. Look at the parliamentary controversies. For court. You see, he used to hold the power. He went back again to court, and what the court said, and I even Akotia, any Fantiaqua, there's injunction. There is injunction. What the injunction? Oh, you're there, man. You cannot do that. Because law, no, I'm not going to make sure what the law is. I'm not telling you, I say, mashallah. Mashallah, Abdul Kadir, Sheikh, mashallah. At the end of the day, inshallah, Nyakupo Ishragana, ya tuaba peacefully. Yeah, shenanigans back to me, and we see a looting near the age, and him say, America promotion ballot boxes, or more drop boxes here, DSC coin one. Oh, to a baby, now, China, advanced voting, or more elections, or more Jomudi, into more elections, or more process out to me to a banner an election day, do. And to year, to me, the audio share a box, that was some of the places, I think Atlanta, Georgia, Mokoshibi. So at least, yeah, perfect to bat your queen. And the fourth public year starting since 92, Ghana corner him. And one thing I hear Nigeria for born Samama Ghana. And I know to cross on Nigeria for or more than one Ghana, the boom Ghana. Or cut on penny for some moment Ghana. A country I had to about more position in there to me, Winnie. And that's making history. First time. Ghana corner him. And Ochina, a very fracente, and this MPP of fracente. Frakente call a Jubilee, Anasha White call a Independence Square. Oh, feel cry. You must celebrate this victory for Ghana because this is a victory not just for President Mahama and not just for NDC. For this is a victory for Ghana because Ghana calling him out now. Ukwa broche Europe, Ukwa America, baby out now. Ubamu, utna kamu, utna basmu, uti play mu. Now be to Unchembroni. Now, Busan, where you from? Also, if Ghana, no master, Ghana is good. Missy me home, bro, be also an ex-military officer, veteran. So I hear more Cameroon in most of the West African countries. Me can't tell me free Ghana. Papa was full of praises for Ghana because I say Cameroon, Cameroon, Nigeria, and he was praising Ghana because Ghana is but at least to a large extent, no Ghana you compare to any animal or West Africa. Ghana, and I'm saying so, Ochina, we MPP, we NDC, white. In your house, Jubilee, go there, celebrate victory for Ghana. And MPP for now, Mama starting, Buga, opposition no start yet. Honeymoon period, at least first year in office, no. Or see a man, President Mahama honeymoon, at least first 100 days. And President Mahama creating a vision about 120 days. Until 120 days, no. Mama Yenya, chairman, he must settle down in office. Now, so unsettle your crowds. Before I start opposition. Now, more born in face time, be settled. And you see, so tomorrow, no. Mama got 2017 Ekufuado. This is exactly what Ekufuado did 2017. And no sooner Ekufuado back 2017, no. And conform Bebrenia hope. GDO no say, hey, almost speech. President Ekufuado made the annex President Ekufuado. No, you man obey and you man crack it. Obey solid work by any who yana President Ekufuado at the end of the 80th tenure. No, even MPP members are saying said that you man so any. And more affect the Ekufuado as a man mudi atemi agena. Even MPP members cry now they are all saying say President Ekufuado Eduma at the end of 8 years in there. Everybody can attest to the fact that Eduma no and shut down so any because what the 2017 speech no to one. Any vem pani GDN ade yenya President Ekufuado Musenka. He will be the turning point and the fourth republic give for us. And then President Ekufuado etumi at least free SHS we all can even NDC for claim himself free SHS the President Ekufuado deliver. But on other things, say governance, transparency, corruption, fighting corruption, they were Ekufuado and said that anya. But you see, the good thing is that President Mahama, this is the return of President Mahama. the second coming on President Mahama. On one case, say the second coming on Yamabaya ye actually the first coming because he has learned from his mistakes. And before the President Mahama and also telling him, say, Master, may repeat some of the shortcomings because he himself may be about maybe be anyone may 100%. What I said in the shortcomings, no, President Mahama has said it. The people around him know have said it. He has so much lessons. All the lessons are President Mahama. What I say from 8 years and working under President Rawlings, working under President Mills, and working on his own first under his own regime. No, Nini now will come in handy now. Say Obiani one more bet me about Mahama Wagadre. Obiani one more bet me about Kokonsa. President Mahama. He has what it takes. He has been in government before, and his second coming, this is why he will do better. And we all have to support him to obey better because President Kufuor call you free SHS. Someone found Cody Chrome. One found Cody Chrome. Free SHS is a policy that is a policy for Ghana for Ghana. And so President Mahama it's going to be a policy for everybody. Airport here, President Kufuor will renovate here. It's not going to be an airport. Kufuor don't ever fly. Everybody is flying there. 3 years President Mahama a airport here in a fly freeway. Everybody goes there. Nigeria for crab now be pictures. The government in Poise. Most the government Ghana to me. Look, this is a victory. This is going to be a victory. This me see inauguration now because watch now. It's a victory for Ghana. We are MPP new. We are CPP new. We are DN new. I was white watch now. Ufra Okente join all the President Mahama jubilate. You don't let any NDC stop you from jubilating. This is victory for democracy and victory for Mahama. Obviously, Nanado left $8 billion, but we need calculation. I know a calculation. Kufuor kono na eka Ghana dey 9 billion Ghana cedis. President Mahama kono eka da 122 billion. President Kufuor is a little over 600 billion Ghana cedis. You get your facts. Adiebu one politics katamoni. In any case, sa kana penifone bono. Ghana government ka 122 billion na Mahama bok and ebi ne dey item na 3 airport na ye fa ho no. Ebi na ye range hospital no. What you say? It's my throw figures about to say Mahama bok no or the cannot to Benz kotu ni fie. And I Kufuor cannot boy no or the to jollof di woni fie. What you say? Enti montomobo these ekawe nyina most of ekana yabobodi Mahama 122 Kufuor dey a little above 600 billion ni nyina ye ka 40 to 45% here interest on debt. Enti one thing niamanati put things, don't just throw figures about. Don't just throw figures about. Say issues na say ansa na nyasa obeya na fe wa kwakoye mistake bebre o ti so mo ba obi one more comment obi so di atem keke ye few because why den wo form obi a wo ye serious about Ghana development be on him say development enya atem didi na di development ba say wa ban na ti akonwa so enya wa ban na ti akonwa so wo tax ka ho na ye dey gitiro man no because where Mahama be won say e-levy Mahama on you because ye e-levy no wa mo pay adwuma ye na ye dey na be adwuma mama. And that is why sometimes politics, we must put this in perspective. Don't just be following the crowd. Say, oh, be back, or if you have a post, I say, oh, be dinner temper. Me, it won't change anything. It won't change anything. But I'm sure so on my gun, I know better me ye. Not on my gun, I'm not falling to my pefra. Not on my be yam or my own so acronym. Because that is essentially that is why your money and none of happy. But yeah, so minor tax can go. And President Kufuor to Takonya so Kobe have been saying a moment to Obama. Look, it doesn't matter who voted for you. It's about whose taxes near the IO minor. And no be a tax count because anymore. Malcolm Cry. Yeah, charge you NHIL. Yeah, charge you COVID levy. Yeah, charge you get fund levy. Yeah, charge you tourism levy. Saxicano, obie twebi. And to me, Kazan Mahama Bentina, Mobian Casa. And I'm no, obia Sika be your money. Whether you voted for Mahama or not, whether you voted for Kufuor or not, Usika, and he is accountable to you. President Otiakonyaso is accountable to you. So, And you know, everybody and democratic process. No, so we go school no. Who's social studies and I say a civil kakra. Obeti as say democratic process. No, it takes every citizen. And when you automa Mahama ko, and when you want to Mahama, and then you open Mahama say. So bounce ibuzate into ochina ba omiaba. Oh yes, the procedure there what Ghana no. All former presidents. This is the Oyari. All former presidents are there. They will show up at the inauguration. They will all have to show up at the inauguration. Former president be able show up at the inauguration. Or show up at the inauguration. Vice president Baumia Beba, Nana do Beba, and Omunina Beba, and politicians Omi and Yanumo. Baumia Nana do Mahama Ushia. Omunina Wisdom. And do their own year of and Baomiako opposition as Gratian until some Mambetum or Beji as Gratia Pepe. We yano 1 year no Baomiaka as Gratia bodyguards at the Baman or Beji or more on Bayajuma or be a bet your mocha. You bet you cracker a beer so a onograd is a cremoni journey. Frank Benum cry a bet ya. Everybody. Someone says yet now, yes, or obey a year or beyond so that kingdom come. You know, go change Poco. You waste all your data on insult, it won't change anything. So let me take you back to the friend saying President Kufuor, when he was being inaugurated, and this is something similar, a friend saying
Prime Minister of the Progress Party government of the Second Republic, and one of the great Ghanaians said in these eloquent words, and I quote, "We regard politics as an avenue of service to our fellow men. We hold that political power is to be exercised to make life nobler and happier."
We think the yardstick by which our success or failure should be judged must be the condition of the human being himself.
Dr. Kofi Busia, by the grace of God, Prime Minister of the Second Republic of Ghana.
Anyway, just history and Ghana airport was so. President Mahama there was sworn in, and I said I will read the oath of office. And they actually will be. This is something that I'm looking for President Mahama there now from 20. The first one 2012. Better me bo 2012. So. And so it's a continuation of history. What President Rawlings said, that was when younger generation where we were just being introduced to democracy now, multi-party democracy. No, very beautiful. You see President Rawlings in his full uniform. I know Gina Honey are very beautiful. So I am download it because I'm trying to download it. Mr. Hansi, I don't know. So bet me who am faster. Like I'll be very, very grateful. So it's beautiful. This is all part of a friend saying. Historical betimi aboama Ghana akonanim, and this shows you say Ghana maturity ne can. This is where I bedu America for nyina sending a delegation to Ghana to show say Ghana ye drum pempenswa just say we can rub shoulders with the world democracy. I can say democracy bema edru enkofo botom na reflect on the safety of Ghana for, because I mean what is democracy if Ghana no ye nyak ho faso. But baby, I was here. We'll get there and we'll be able to make the changes now. You say you to make changes. Or that I saying both parties promise to cancel e-levy, meaning they don't believe it's a good tax. It needs to be scrapped. Well, their party worker, our campaign platform. So any the in office are two different things. Okay, President Kufuor. Okay, be party about petrol. So Babetina Konyason, President Kufuor na. Akonyane de oteswa different. Who opposition so are different. So clearly President Kufuor was telling us say akonyane betina to no say any good tax cra sika no kofa we he. What I say? So assuming that okay say any good tax, the question is who try e-levy ni makwa kofa sika we he, because ye nyina so ye pese Mahama ye anwade ma ye. Na anwade no so ye disika na yo. Ye nye ne sa akwa ye disika na ye. It is a Mahama try e-levy ni say the question is kofa sika no we he biem. Na odi aba beka ho, and that is why it's very important say ye nyina ye behwe see ebetimi aboa say what you say not just about say ye dey near maybe be political kotena konwa no so is completely different from other things I hear. It may Mahama video, no, the inauguration, the first one, and we'll even be comparing his speech from 2012 to the speech of China or Bebanoni. I say, is there going to be a difference in the speeches or the Bemana? And is there going to be something entirely, or maybe like a continuation of the speech, you know, the Beba China and Kingsley, Elike Morte, NDC, will be joining very soon. Kingsley Akasa, Sanso, and Yera. Dumate Japan, so MPP chairman, London, the UK, and also ebe joining. No party, MPP for opposition. They are saying, they say MPP and Kasa opposition no muko a blessing because yes, and UK for mu so muka cry we are. Say can't no mu di fia broche ba. And for so we share no more we are car so muko ton so mu de car ko Uber. Hey, party I would adega. Easy. It's your mama who said your position kaka in common when I tell quite a go where we are the question of them. Politics and easy is you near command, you can't do politics. And before I will also say it's a good thing that they went to opposition because in your opposition they will see some of the things that they are seeing now. Your name Professor Jubilee also but he's one of the very few people who predicted a complete win for Mahama. And I'm passing here to Mahama winning hands down. We share parliamentary seat MPP was so we could 88. MPP could not even make 190. So from 137 to 88, this is a complete showdown. And voters in the amount. And this is not like NDC for Antoama MPP. This is MPP for higher kudita. 80 or one MPP. Because 2.4 million MPP supporters didn't vote. Almost to cry into Mukati John. Yana de Mamusa, Namunya Dija, Munkwana Majabo Sukoba. And I'm going to one. I'm going to come na moody. My baby a vote, and especially Ashanti region voters, they really gave MPP a showdown because moment to a box site, they have interchanges were crying it Tamalini ade. Or more Ashanti region for no more box site when you muko 2 years. One interchange you cry for Namuka or me a John. Or more showdown. I'm also channel to pissing in. And I'm pissing in big time. I don't know, MPP coming back in 2028, you know, it's going to be an issue. Because the MPP must kiss coming back to power a goodbye. Because the way a near market corner, MPP must do a very good job. Because they just about coming back to power. It's about say obey a Juba so they need to now solve a crow scarce about MPP. A crow to MPP for now. Until they must heal that a chrono, cure that a chrono, and send a for unity. For unity. They say breakaway groups where they show away, especially their base. Ashanti region. The difference between NDC and MPP is say MPP they so that kingdom come. I don't know what NDC will do. Votarians NDC. Because even now that votarians what NDC Mukrakata I say, yes, I'm post Papa Biano. They are committed to NDC. 2024, we vote on NDC for almost 90%. Meanwhile, MPP for no base Ashanti Eastern Bruno Ahafu. I'm going to say, and he say, blatant loyalty. Debbie. Why the new road over 20 years? Because most of them are ready for dollar comes through over 20 years. That's how they vote. It is MPP for steady or call voting population here. Now I'm going to a crony or no. Unity no. I did the journey chrono kitchen where I cover party car where the car we are cover where your man comfort. You see, social media for Sika cry saying Obiatnas ready. Communicate a Sika cry Obiatnas ready. And the NDC had the same issue in 2016. And also comfort the DC cannabis. But see, the fact that NDC has been able to regroup and come back, like I said, they've solved their problem. Omu to me healing a chrono, Ekumamu crow to me a unity no kakra, and Omo de more to be anye. Criticism and they criticize the NDC and they were listening. Who saw just no mama bounty, no more munty, no more idiotem. But everything penny for they were listening and they were doing their homework. But more people no more to power 9 years so good fruso, no gumanum, a word and Namu Didija broche for no more per voter, more per fundraising, no more broche UK, Germany, Belgium, France, no more Jessica. A true battle of since 2008, a president could foresee a broche from to Aba. Munya moment to Abada, a brony bayinti, Namukasa moya broche for so. And then And kebi asa 2.4 million no man beto aba and kabroche for woman kebi 1 million bi ba beto aba mam won MP before nya we nyina mo samia we nyina ya mo samia se mo di besua nyansa mo fensua nyansa sa na ma baba ke bi nya sa de a maso ye be hye no ahwa Jubilee ho no munya ho ntena NDC so nya dia boso na o ma twa captains band no wa hwe ye pa akonwa no pa so ombeje am se NDC be dia akonwa na mam because afa na Mahama so enkrofo grumi o mo ti say e first there be Felix Kwachofosu enye fifi kwete asem na meka e first former sports minister Elvis Efri Ankranom these Haruna Drusonom. These are people who were young student leaders around 1998, 96, or more building of a political career. They have what it takes, or more experience in Mahama so building your mama take you over. And tomorrow before I'm to one for say, I am Mahama, Masubi a bastion. Any munya because I think I'm more ebeba, my ambets no position. So it's up to you, MPP. If you do your homework. Now, you see, what Mumbusa more critical question? They be I'm catch MPP for Mumbusa more critical question. Why is it that young men now to say or more bad in NDC? Why? MPP for this is a classic homework or some young woman introspection. Assignment na medema mono. Busa who say young people no say or more school, young lawyers, young doctors, young businessmen. Omu nyina ko join NDC. Why? Because there's a perception MPP the okwa hey. This is Cochrane in the this one this is carrying in every answer I will do so like no one. But that is not how you form a party. And there's also a perception because tier one perception. Oh no, the second perception is MPP for the year I am out. Then there's a perception saying this is the omocha. Oh, kakra best will be so everybody will be involved. And against that, I bet you will be against it. But MPP in this are aparatic in seminal, who knows seminal, maybe I check. Pull him down, Samuel. It's a lot of MPP problem here internal. External MPP for any problem, baby. Because if you look at this election, Baumia policy near the Odeba, fantastic work. It wasn't too much different from Mahama and Odeba. You know, good vision. It wasn't too much different. It's a homework, internal homework, MPP for Baye. More the opposition, number 10 till the kingdom come. The ball is in your court. Do the work. Na fe monto aso na monye adwuma no enti ali kemba kiss the baba betray what we should expect tomorrow at the inauguration kiss the baba cross and Mahama 2012 you know say because I'm multitasking Mr. police awu ade no nka o send maami a Mr. Hansen I'll be very grateful pa like ama adwuma na ye simple ama DOP kra be wa DOP Mr. Dibedi akompacho na my inauguration video na send ma na membo because we want to compare the speeches near there cry in President Kufuor the cry to Ebeka account. Teacher Mama good evening Akwaba, thank you for joining us. Professor Jubilee also nyameche so good evening Akwaba so. Acha mam say we do mo microphone no.
Sorry. Okay.
Na just say who you there.
Oh nyame adumboko me mo official pa.
Yeah, I forgot about it. That's it. So I'm
friend na edware oda bia sa.
Adumara.
I dey boni no intia.
Mo brother Yakubu hu ya mobo. Esange ebi ewu eja yenti. We are not special. Adumara kwa.
E dey na many nua Kingsley na hia.
Mbacho say.
Ese many nua Kingsley na be hia.
Kingsley was article into Kingsley beba say here prof Jubilee no wusu nyame na. I join into Kingsley beba say here.
I see.
Prof, what's your expectation today for Ochina? President Mahama inauguration no?
I fear me that say expectations in the penifo akasa na you need expectations but you will NDC for enkaibo one
I'm going to say you come on the from Kakrama it will help us good fantastic
one omonim say NDC for some more responsibility one omonim some more responsibility because ya to abamom. Two, say more accountability because enam accountability is unti and I say more power. Three, say almost so very good well, a strong good well. Say yede amamu na hye omonsa. Inti say obisa ochena na ebisi a President elect Mahama obe da Ghana for ase. Say omasa adwene ne ho esade na ba biu. 2 da oda omase no enkowie ho obama mahunu say de oye ya anya omoda a moto ne twene ye no a masa consider ne so omra no obeye ama Ghana fo ani aso oya ma Ghana fo ani omo beye ma Ghana fo ani aso na de ato ne yonko a ofiri ho sisi ye okọ ya nim guase potopoto ato ni ebi so nto no na de eye de wo mu ne se owo ekitafo bi a eta na chi a ono nso otie wo mo
Aye President Mahama wo.
yes a otie wo mo so wo hwe ne party executives na we mu nyina ye nkrofo a oni bi o parliament o no ni bi o parliament no ni bi ministers so enti sa rapport ni
because no ni President Kufuor wo parliament me boy.
yes 1996 98 2000 so anya President Kufuor kwa na America oni ne party nkrofo no asedu ketia no so oni bi atra parliament aye serve as ministers in cabinet so enti rapport ni free baby na eba so enti ayade a ohu omo se omo ye ne co-equals ohu omo se omo nyansa ebro ne so ana se ono so de ebro omo so de so the only difference ne se ehye ne se ono so president so ena ade ba ko so a President Mama oye very much aware so no say oma aban no enso nchen eku na de ne baaye no
Party no.
yes oma na enso nchen enti the speech na me church ne tofa you
Okay, ja wo predict speech no obema no.
yes
Great.
Sanima we nyina na informal speech no chira obema no so nema me hibo bosu ena informal ochina speech na obema no na wa Ghana fo nya arehemu se de to mu na anu ada no ento mu ne so the other is a obe ye no so se obe temu expectations if you say or the promises be brave by so say obe running lean government me say menye a fan of what niamu nyina kan say lean government menye fan of it because adwuma no so na wo hia nkrofo mama ye adwuma no enye just nkrofo keke wo hia nkrofo omunim de nisa nkrofo no mo do so kra na so omunim de na outcome no is stronger anybody does na aye dey omo ye Ghana fo omo nya mosifo omo nya wangrafo omo nya Ghana fo so if is adwuma no ba kofo ntimi nye se oka se ministers no obete so a me na maka se me nya fan of it because
you don't support the empty ministers so
nope
wow
me nyin tum ba kokra
and you don't expect Mahama to touch on it in his speech
se obe promises awama
you any major promise to you know that kind of
and I make us say o say me start make us say o can expectations and I me chew enema bi a e course so a e ma ene ono aba power no
okay
so ni nyina ye o temu down expectations and crofo wo ma no so goodwill no into ono ba ka kire say say waje transition notes me boa waje transition notes transition notes ni ye obroni beka say a broad overview of governmental affairs okay transition notes no doesn't give you the details as to what is in any ministry or any district afeina the ministers no ebe ko doso mu MMDCs ni DCs no kwa ko doso mu say say na ewo mu ni enti ne ewo mu ni no ene be kire ni board o mu bu man no
okay
yes the ewo mu no de and I'm say transition here high level notes. Security, yeah, what I say, ebia, your northern side, yeah, battle Boko Haram. Your southern side, say yeah, no, your petroleum, I have say never. So, your energy, I have say any contract be say near a high level. I fed the ministers no ni MMDC ba ko pension okay muka say mo energy do say and so be hwe mu no say wan kwata kwa yenu ye ye na adwuma ne so enti make say me the 19 ministers na be ye and so me do so mu no wo hene enya de metimi 19 aye so in any case no Ghana for no from the adwuma enti na make say me subscribe to omo wasi ministers ne do so na mum Omodwuma omwoye no ne nsunsanso e de bre oman no ene sen de nti ameka sa ne se won se minu mienu yenim se ye your deputy minister ase abodua Ghana deputy minister omonya hwe o omo ministers ne mo nya hwe
na se ne se Mahama ka so te so a he can do it, he can. It's reasonable so better so unlike what you are arguing say.
And yet I what is no. Na say appoint obi say deputy minister, near man nya adwuma de. Say as adwuma na wo ho, ye say ni ho. Adwuma ne wo ho. Adwuma ne wo ho. But the different any say godfather system ina me na mo cabinet na una nim na say ni no. And
yeah man ye.
E ma won nya adwuma no. Meanwhile nipa na say deputy no onim de. Nti ho no na President Mahama elect, we are very much aware. We are aware, pa.
Okay.
So, okay. We are aware. And
because this ministry is very interesting. I want a Edumate Japan to come in on that. But before that, Edumate, what is your expectation of inauguration? No, say about me because the system we have, no opposition phoning in our court.
Yes, it's a constitutional mandated, as a matter of fact. Say, as I say, Mamidi can share me prof. Na menshia minu so a ehwe nyina na omo mutie yen so office yen so yenchia omo nyina. Now it is a mandatory say sampase what na kunyan so pen even former presidents' wives and their spouses they are all going to be invited to be there unless they be in the background or be announce so say independent Ankasa be choose say one or two reasons it in be our own timinko. I'm say me share down for many India share say be a sia a binuman share danko. Because
but usually
yeah, and that is how I say and the kind expectations some there me momu what do I expect from NDC in terms of say omono ekokoye inauguration ochina Ghana for nyina dia but so if you look at it from the angle Prof Diffree Ediba here is a very critical analysis partner why no if you say adwuma na da house here no nya adwuma ketwa na niema no bi won so a say yura mama nye careful a bedroom baby no ankasa ebe shooting himself in the foot because the promises and no been a two MPP. If you look at the MPP crowd record now, in terms of promises in power, my idea, you deliver baby. You deliver most of even go. We want even outside our manifesto to deliver so many social interventions and building expansion of the schools and transforming our educational system. But the only reason a ma MPP at me a kofom and nyatu nyende ena me of Acadia me be kan once maka dada if you have video so kra matras ya team wa frɛ ya say ye mra from kakra o ye ntimi frɛ call kakra o dia say ya me nim kofom na like your intro we na or the kasa in terms of how we are going to come back. No moment I may hear me pa. If you say ochina dia a ceremony whether we like it or not, it has to happen. And it is a happy obeka and another crowd Binom kura kasa wakoko reading kofobi kura message no money ade message nan
I don't
kasa
say what they who go to copy will be na amfa any simple.
I'm say interested in the choir and Befaswaba. Nyame ya dum na se etime hye biwa ye be kire ne atu omfo so mbetie nko ade a
of course
yes meba yes
oh,
you
they say they have no choice but to
this is the emoji tu yanti my home
say mom na come betie o say na come betie yeah amoye yi no but say om go so ye mistakes bi a e kokko so a wo de hwe ye be ye om be small boys abegu ayi abe horo me saa enso ye betumufo still a moye den ye betumufo and this if what is
say na ebiankofo di na temsa
yeah
medium a team and almost but professor baby no call
yeah yeah predicting NDC for victory
as they come deal and you wanna
a month before 7 November yeah predicting NDC for near and yes am I kind na if you ever
have predicting say Mahama maybe no year
where and someone ya kawo kukuamu and somewhere kan kukuamu tumpanifo fo. And so I say, Yanni at one year, Jai. So, and the Oka said, Omoda for Moja Tuma, a fain or see some person but biodia, but Miss Mia sure said, President Mahama, 1 year, or what now for about 40 years because party no my building or honor. Party ne could have the neighbor. Omo machinery, or Masha name beer. It will be difficult for MPP to organize. What the heck?
I know the many prof and yardine. If it's a VA, 7 years, it should be our shares, you know. Now I said that was now they are sorry. Yes, Anity. And the Nanke come in a way or China ceremony, no one some Kakraba, or the way not be Bromama. And say, you may free money up with feet. If you are MPP as a party has a structure that is bigger than NDC, completely bigger. My memo analysis be if you are so you are aware say easy a year registration this year election population of voters about 1.7 million and a become
yes 1.5 1.7 yeah
something like that.
New
so
voters.
Average, new voters. So if you are to look at it from that point of view, Mahama's 6.3 million it means one because even the newer voters in Ukraine, new voters didn't even bother to vote for him.
But still, I want
it is a wusha. It means say Ganania Bufona na a month for bofu or yen ya campono. And affecting yan Paco that even margin of 2.4 million people are. Oh, can you see ya? And as a kaya dia, Sani Pani Pia Bontin beto aba, and Kasa 1.5 million a new one no. Okay, benya to do a free because NDC. So what did they make?
But chairman, the truth of the matter also is that a part of the equation.
And that is exactly my point. And so what Prof have said, and they say, yes, I'm okay. So if we manage to put our house together really very well within the next 4 years, and represent ourselves to the people that voted and supported us coming from 2016 now. Now yet to me, a winning has a mind we will stand much powerfully better than even NDC because don't forget, say, NDC is going to go and have a new candidate. Yentono baby ada. What I say? Now, you're sharing your fronts, you say, Kranoa. Your candidates, me, you present here. Sandy Panimi, you very well known. Still, I know, that's what you So what I say. And so if we are to mobilize well, go down well, bringing the party together very well. Too much, and I'm praying say the prof can menene ya adwene they also can meno ya adwene yes share your money yampa, and it starts from leadership in terms of party level. And you say nyame ya dum na ye ko say leaders e wo ho say it me you say I started say friends push election fact finding analysis. No, no analysis.
Analysis.
Yes, that is it. Yeah, share and dear bad na critically yetimi edi intro etisa eye adia eye completely horrible obiara wesa ni nyina bampa na yebedi yen ye ho nokre na ye the facts na wo mu na mpa no ebetena se atoto ye niema eyie na ya make sure say we do the right thing. I believe that definitely we will come back very stronger than NDC because ya wodom MPP wodom and there be na make say MPP yen base you know, and this is NDC base. NDC base say irrespective of how they will behave in government or whatever it is, they still stand strong behind Omuno a team. No. But MPP base will check you. MPP base are very objective. MPP base is not say matua ba MPP na mi MPP ninti ni eko na nye kra no a saa na yenko no. And that is what
elections no 2021 visa way.
I never stop talking about this. If you see, it's something that sometimes somehow when the nipa say who suru kakra na one careful na we real from so what I say. And I'm choosing my words really carefully. Said and offensive to some individuals, and these are the areas that we need to look at. Contracts are how do we get contracts, give contracts out? Appointments are here, and the obi ona only godfather onunti onye biana. I think they mumuba could mention something like that. And all these are things that needs to be looked at critically. Ebetimi abuama nipa domina omudi achire from 2015 and 2016. Utumu se womudi enibre ankasa. Na sata no abanya otiso no e faili o mine no a wo ma dadum so mu for almost 5 years ama IMF GDP growth has just falling from over 14% from era Tamil time of so free mu ama ni nyina mi drigu ye era mama na ye in charge about 3.4%. Na the whole Ghana our GDP growth crampo no na utumuse ye lose revenue generation of over 10.88 billion in terms of industry side, and those are the areas na utumuse o mine bofom na tinsem enti anu na Ghana fo nyina de abufuo ebeta yachi ema yetimi ko wini. So that expectation was so high to a extent say ubetimi so fulfill omo so needs ni ade, but we should have done much better than what we did. And can no no na betimi sustain.
Very well. But Ghana, as a party, no, Ochamumba inauguration, I say.
Of course, say if MPP as a party, I think definitely if the structure is that they will invite MPP as a party.
Yes, usually
we are not enemies, and I don't think say if you're inviting national party you be boycott. I don't think that will happen. Me there be an American say you nyina fam paibo enter your mama any team no achi. If you say me am fam paibo enter omochi. Na ye koye se ye tena se nya ya hwehwe ha na omo ye mpa ebo ye bu nyina nse omo faili ansa na ye ya ba power. Then that is not what politics is supposed to be. We have to be up to update to a level where yes, we policy direction as we are how are we going to come up very powerful and smarter and better policy directions a bit me a bit say omo adwuma omo. And I'm praying that no Ghanaian should wish NDC say unfold it and yeah papa and yeah de pa yenina yanta umochi. What we have to do is to also subject them to scrutiny. Say niema no a omo no aka say omo beye no. Yen be making sure say we will put them on their toes for them to be able to do those things. Because if you understand ne wo kasa sisi a wo say e-levy also oni na ono aso na kan opposition say obeyi na say wo twantro e na ode aba be dada Ghana for ama wo say
sometimes see so betina konwa so a when you are set say they not prof can when they give you the transition note what's your transition note na no say master skinny ho into ko
waba bi pen there you waba bi pen
the figures are not the same prof and no dey fan can say open get here
yeah me so me dey here
2012 no the figures are different from the figures now
efia me so me dey here mfato ho a kire o say enne o say ono ba no time o mu free so na dokono ne eto no 1 cedi enne akoduru da ma 5 cedis me say den ni dokono nti minim dokono bo papa what you say ena cedi to dollar and also from 1 to 4 akoduru da ma 1 to 16 me mpa ye ne say no betimi ate so am na ba bia be say 8 na Ghana for enwo ato me no say
you be bompa ye to give them that pressure
oh yeah if you me bompa ya ma say bomodin na yire ho na mra fom no we pressure
it's not possible say niam be call ye chi sa
oh really
Debbie prof and possible say be call ye chi sa say
nya prof na ka say me na me ka say o ma me prof dia ma je title no
possible say niam so be titsa up to the barest minimum.
Oh, but that is what they told them.
No, operating and make us a more MPP for position. You want starting in time to do. You have to be realistic. You have to be realistic.
If you don't do that, I have been very fair and objective in my analysis that we should wish them well and pray and subject them to scrutiny.
Promise, chairman, promise here. A good father speech.
There be your way, Mr. Emeka, Mr. Ofia, see a baby a day. Messi, Mojo tree to the Jani baby. Near vampire won't tell NDC. What did that is the only way NDC for which me and George Lano, dear, sure say, Bibia, a umpire say Bibia because smoothly and beautifully, because if it goes really nice and beautiful, a Shegan and Munyam, look at how Yerabomia conceded defeat. Africa, how many countries? And at Miato yeah, it be happening to that effect. And these are Nema how far our democracy has grown, and gradually we are building it. And now Nami follow America on Parliament, which is Congress, or speaker. That is their 119th
congressional elections to
119. Mako 4 years, Mako 119. Multiply it and see how far they are now and where we are. Yeah, because this is here. Yes, number 9. This is the 9th parliament. Yes, I so almost be 119th parliament and an almost and now we are and this is why I want us to focus, and more especially Mamu Mayema na Timdidie. The Bia me coming Minobia, I've been in this for long and in the attempt, and the Yenina scrutinize it, criticize correctly, and make sure say, oh my God, and I as I say, I didn't say, I muda ho ye papa. Na Yenina Yaku and Mizania, Doko Kase, or Kase and go for the Kwaku dinner terminal, and yet we don't have to do that.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's even one of the reasons why you're in a nipa baby, because this generation of politicians, if you want, now be someone say. And he funny about the new generation of politicians. I'm on my bare politics because I think the no ya so offensive. Say any papa baby or one of my munya come by you, but we possible. Me koka. Me di matter man. And yeah, baby do baby no ye nyankrophobia. E be di leadership. Omo baby bibia dia ne ba be roman and so why.
Sometimes we are not prof no so ka ho kakra. And there be ameka and there be ameka say be omo nya ekwan asua ngoma akọ akiri no. Edru ba bi na sometimes you say if you look at if you assess this government Akufo-Addo aban adwuma or ye any the initiatives, ideas that we're going to say ke bia ke yebetimi ato aso a senye yen na ye di ho abro na sometimes utumu say ebi no asusu sheda na nneɛma bi a wɔn anim kan sɛ aban no bɔ ne ho mmɔden nso so na still no because of say ebi a makodi hanti I pretend to be say instead of say no korɛ ne da hɔ no mɛka no especially say mpanyinfoɔ na wɔn sua nwoma no wɔn side asɛm na mɛmɛ kan they should also be very objective sometimes and try and help the country because Kwame Nkrumah ɛka sɛ wɔde yɛfɛ sɛ scholarship ɛɛba Ghana na ye nipa na saa time wɔn no te sɛ Dr. Kwame Nkrumah ɔsaagyefoɔ Dr. Kwame Nkrumah no type of people no ɛnɔɔso wɔ ɔman no mu so they realize sɛ yɛde nimdeɛ nso so na kyekyere ɔman ɛno nti yɛn ntumi nya nimdeɛfoɔ more na yɛmfa nkyekyere yɛ man saa time koraa na wɔn nɔɔso hwɛ adwuma wɔn yɛɛ ɛna yɛtumi anya nimdeɛfoɔ bebree ɛna so na afei na asɛ yɛ reverse ɔman no and that is how I am saying this because wɔn anya opportunity to have this a platform of education and very well expertise in the they should be somehow also measured. I think some of them sometimes I say as a binuma masebio sika dio monim kakra and obon say no credit da ho onka na ofo say bia we ne ba menya bia di menka say wo
sorry for people in academia. No,
say no say we say you menka say
wo for people in academia because NDC and MPP, they be so when you bastardize them.
And that's what I'm saying. He said. No, that is why I'm saying.
Chairman. Bibi evidence be anyone answer more security or money. Obi obet me channel genuinely. And if party be having a beshia. I know just they are motivated by
money. No, I'm not saying that a general statement. Namika, me say a binum or
yeah, but there's no evidence because a binum now can motivated by money. It could be someone by simple expression of opinion. So
well, you can also call it that way, but
they defend you, but when they suit you, I don't understand.
Even when we were in government, I've been saying it over and over, and it's a plea that I'm always saying that academians, they should try as much. I know they are doing their best, but they should try as much as they can to let the people in Ghana get information that are very high quality that they need to
but
get.
That's not their obligation is not on them.
Well, they are part of it. They are part of it.
When him said, I was said, categorize it near working. There are people who are in academia who come and say, I'm speaking for party A. And there are those who come and say, I'm speaking for party B. And there are those who come and want to speak their mind. Okay.
Which is the middle
yes.
position.
Now, in the so-called middle, no, ebiana akwetia opade ni kakra. And then ube who say, on your objective, because akwetia opade ni kakra. So, it's now what two box bin. So, as meanwhile, nipa no kwa bia mokada kra won so muda anasa one party ni kra penny for kra kasada or I didn't know or analyze it based
on expressing view
he sees or she sees it the way she sees it or he sees it so but ankwa ma side ninti
party A or B no
o you say entiana mun dissect ya na say we nipa we also wa say no enti most of academia for no ba straight away baka say me kasama party we and I make some party we and I ask mommy and I ask mommy and I made me home. So Nana may catch us say I didn't penny for say me my husband many abekasa my party bia. So research kitchen get ya me any analysis I may no and I never to ja. So but mostly no who say na and come uncroftwe. Into a bahro san I have a con professor and wabon say this and so a month ago, and some voter party. I talked about it. Regional, I talked about it. Near over several sanka a good data analysis near how even public servants and civil servants and those educated people in Ghana voted. You would have seen, say, most of them did not vote. And most of them, from historical perspective, voted MPP. And most of them, of these people, are found in the regional capitals. So, and some way now has been penny for Kakuamu. But some penny for year you oka academia for us. some penny for ya so na small boys e me be go Facebook
e be di atem
am to data mom ye ni menim penny bi kasa penny for na wo crofo no party penny for pa wo e wo head office omo na small boys no e be gu ayi e be horo sa enti ya na o ka academia for asema just be a little bit ayi anything and say we say we even Ghana krana you don't get your public university center Cape Coast Tech Legon Winneba Apia Minka Hefa UDS anka yebenya sankofo nyina to contribute to the discourse emusa na ya ne babekasa because obekasa yi ye de baba to apaso
I think maybe the social media also aspect probably is not helping because this time around no be actually come receive so
chairman social media because it's part of us. We have to it's like AI and ChatGPT. It's part of us. However, the party executives influencing people to do that. And not American was a move. Social media, you can ignore social media. Some of the social media will be at me. But social media, now was in yeah. And your party executives in that to data amount of women. Yes, they are in Ghana, but they are buying it, they are paying people's phone bills and one bills. I will come US and London. I'm a party in for Yabia. Anti Ghana. And so when Yesika to Galam say, or a party into when Yeska, I Galam say, at Mineska Manabroso, at the top, uncle for phone bills, phones uncle for baby, could tell Facebook, and Yamodia. They've been bought by executives. And think I walk, sir, and Kofo way in our academia, and Anke contributed with our knowledge. And they said, Yosika, Yamia Dumnipabia to Mumoshiadia could Renanki a bois. And can the papa, I mentioned what they, Judge Massa can't be. What for politics? Minim how long, but me my policy, I check papa judgments tutored me. Or say, Ghana, there is no lack of technical expertise.
He's right.
Yes, Mesa. I said in Ghana, there is no lack of technical expertise. You are talking about technical expertise. We never lack. Amanabasa. Because technocrats ni na ba. Na yes, could be a ministry way. Uncle ministry way. Now some young guy being a minister and a deputy minister. Now on never call reported to ono. No here or no I want him dear. Ebetimia I execute policy. No next young boy be at 29 years old, 39 years old, Brakra Mobida. School or be a bachelor's degree, only experience. No baby reported to ono. No here I was Debbie. I did way in Tay, my Miss Minko and I'm going to no sabbath. So a honey a problem. Zanka ye and Nanka technocracy, ye tuamuka ye. They are more the same facilities professor friends with ministers used to be. Anka, they would never venture into politics because once they get into politics, bones and expertise in United. Yeah, politics.
Mama one a year. In UK.
Too much, maybe.
Too much on the honor.
Yeah, what's what follow a day yache. People like Recruit Bobby or Ghana. What if people like Quampianim on Ghana? Now, one just Recruit Bobby, just look at Recruit Bobby. He was an energy expert, top energy expert. Running Shadako Fanebaha. And so the ask oh, hey. If you are Mr. Mama chairman assignment, you don't mommy.
I am not back to inauguration because as of me chief director of photography, a chief producer, I call her according to started a good dada when you're small. Independent square what dada.
And yes, anybody because
yes, that shows you the excitement and for a democratic process. No, most of them here NDC supporters, but generally about just any ordinary person be out here interested in Ghana issues. Be a part independent square or that. Penny for no more year, do my honor almost set up. I said, on my system, you bet we bet na diplomatic call bet na parliament bet na ha, we bet na ha, but people are just excited about the process and they want to be part of history. And when you know Ghana a very beautiful place, you know, because who say America no the ordinary people are not too enthused about because what happens.
If you are America, swearing in inauguration. Look at the line of people, even though
you're swearing in. I make put it in context. Where you're preparing and I make one.
Oh, okay. I get you. I thought well, but that night,
the excitement of everyday Ghanaians said they want to be part of the process.
Yes.
And inauguration, like I said, inauguration.
I know.
But I'm saying,
because as a matter of fact, even on that night, and all the preparation that was going on, I was part of it. I remember on the season, at the Nami wo and the Nyamama say, because now as I see a boy on one basso. As I see a boy on one basso.
I say, we so actually goodwill and Crawford are ready to accept the incoming government. So, we a goodwill. Now, when him say, you can't wait in name, President Mama elect or here we you. Sir, and Yema Wenina is also going to inform the speech that he is going to give. So, and he is not going to be in your face speech. No. So, this is the only president. Wakwasaba. So, on experience is unmatched. Nyode Bano is unmatched. Obi enye bisada.
And so also TSS.
Say
was it the Ode Bano? Whichever way at TN young so we cannot also say it's unmatched.
Dabio said, Meha, ye can't. The SNE. Yen your day Bano. If I said the SNE. So, the SNE.
The SNE.
Say, Obia Kwasaba.
No call now. What's I have Bano?
The same goodwill, no, this enthusiasm, no, it showed goodwill. Ghana for goodwill, so attractive.
Exactly. And the Ghana for Ankasa ye nipa ye do sa every party have it. Even if CPP Krane Kenya Kwakraba Bemwa. Definitely what we are seeing is what we are going to get, because the more you get the number to win, the more you get a number to follow you. And so it's very good. There be no use word they say wakwa samba be able to a man the ode bano exception. And I'm seeing
but he's allowed to say it if that's what he feels.
He's allowed to say me a challenge kakra
challenge, you know, money
Prof, you're great.
What policies need to know? Policies don't mean a bit no. Policies need to know.
Yes, so
now, obesity agenda. No, yes, you cry.
Oh, wait, agenda setting. So also crack out track.
Obesity agenda be no year free or nothing. On the debate for Franco, but not there for the manifesto. Not the promises of Boom. Yeah, year.
Otherwise, I suppose if you have a year, the end of free.
There be Nabutre. Nana make can say a BC that say, Wak Obiako. So, Wasayaba.
So, yeah, I know they're saying I admit it, yes.
Yes. And the no ban when him near Waku from. And then the other two form. And then near I deny the apejano. So, Anna or sa Nani Bako, I say, oh, me my driving now. Because you use all your senses. I dare say, what do I need to say? No, and the headlines. Who for any other headlines? What do I need to the headlines? Into no, Nani Bako, a quanya, any your friends say, near Neobetu no, a man in a coy. So, into our both experiences or deba. And what deba be mine. Now, oh, can't your friend say, said your deba, you know, true. But I can also assure you, say, oh, may yet job for the boys so. Emma MPP
for the co-opposition, no.
Co-opposition, oh maybe. Where?
I know the Indian kept one pie de Yamiasi.
Maybe. Where or the interdisciplinary team. And the Baba Yadian. And I'm going to say, oh no. When him said, baby, I drew no. Say, what it's him? You never tough. Now, me, dear, I am me, ya, and Kabema, ya hold the NDC for accountable, parliament. At of form. So, and they, Anka, me, menya, Anka, you were very, very experienced hand leading NPP parliament. Trust me. JH Mensa. How are JH Mensa? It's a crap. No more knows who. No more knows. What's the number say?
61.
Against 1996.
Yes,
against
61.
What? Against what?
I think only 200, eh?
No, that I think it was 230.
No, it's 200 first, and then 230.
No, 200 first, and then about 230. Yes, so that means 96 to 2000. You know, I think it's against 61 of maybe few independent.
At the time, I'm a young journalist. Oh, Ghana. The way JH Mensa is shepherding minority, no. A crowd in the back 2000 by when it was masterful. And yet, and hey, propaganda. On guiding before women to the tune say JH Mensa in office. Now say what is Obi Kasa TV so and radio so or to be fair party say money Miss Mommy 8 I'm not replacing. He could do that because now he had a grand scheme, now Okuta master plan, and people followed him. A hot and some experienced hand be in parliament. Nank was shepherded Wenum. On say and no Emma a dipping a democracy no. Okay. Yeah, students na no. Na any propaganda because the students
they can learn from them.
I think say they made me a candidate to a prof there so say. If you look at that parliament now, many of them crown now almost free abruchiri na abafi. Now omumu do na abobra. Any great experience and exposure. If you look at how it stands now, there are certain people and the Omakopi parliament sabi omu cry experience in life crano and that strong. But I believe that when you look at the leadership front of MPP now Urbana, I don't think Rafael Markin is going to be somebody who cannot also who have gone through the mill to get to where he is, cannot also lead from that particular part now or cannot onto me and draw the people closer. We have the people in there. Kojo Pon Krumanumina is still there. And so we have people
there.
there.
Not only say, and 2 JH Mensa standard, no.
Oh, that's excellent.
Encyclopedia, which means that as a party, you didn't have the plan. You failed to groom people consistently, properly.
No, really.
Systems are Labour and Conservative, you did grooming for 20 years.
Ghana's policy directions in terms of
Chairman Tobo. I think I'm grooming.
And I'm interested. You a party
and system. I think you
now the American won't just say. If you are not the answer, we are called against me. And you know, some of me, I'm not saying that JH Mensa was not very powerful, but what I'm saying is that Afenyo Markins and Kono, this is the test. What you're talking about is like when
Chairman. JH Mensa could tell Kufuor in the face, say, budget now, don't bring it until all of us have an input. Okay? And Kufuor will have no.
I'm not denying that fact because Akonya Metisino, JH Mason and so first, you MPP UK Akonya Metisino as a chairman. He was the first chairman of MPP UK, and I know.
Communication that I mean, I don't know.
Oh, really?
Omra so kra me akotu otu chick ne phone na de man e bi eni o
e urade yankopo
e bi eni o platform wa be kasa keke kra no otu na de mi time na me say
oh ne kache ne brother say won ko tia no kache no no
so ma fi bi o ko na ko kasa egum from
bosia afia dai
bi ano no
afia bosia
bra be kasa na so ye o papa
afia bosia
afia
position check. Mo back to no position check.
If you have any out from me, as only some to come.
Sorry.
You see, J.H. Mensah commanded. Afenyo Markin can't command the Kufuor. Even in his retirement, he can't. Afenyo Markin can't command your friend say.
Oh, and I'm just say, oh yeah, mistake. That be a mistake. We were in opposition that time. We were in opposition that time. What you say? On Johnson Landio. Land. We are not some become there.
Can you ever can you hear?
There would be.
There be a so release statement about new appointment by President Mahama. I am Pesi Kohono. Quite before the idea, chairman, I said, Moja to opposition, they are bleeding. What they do?
Your opposition, yeah, boy, what you do? Yeah, boy,
Mama bleeding.
Yeah, bleeding.
What you do? I don't know, because I'm here, some party, no. Now, why have a whole MPP more? National executives, crown, movies. Oh, 96 parliament, no, 96 parliament, you had. J.H. Mensah, Kufuor, Apreku, my daughter, Apreku.
Also Japan.
You had also Japan. You had Hackman.
Hackman. Papa Juan Kamano. Yes.
Rolling to the State of the Nation address. No more J.H. Mensah be leading it there. Now, what they want to see J.H. Mensah and not any bro for historical precedent or them out. Ni analysis, focus, a year or them on conclusion. Now, Master, you will not you cannot.
Oh no, that is in the idea. You've been missing more, but we need to bring it back.
To say over the last 30 years, you feel and come more MPP university and can tell more a university where you groom people for the next 20 years and can tell you didn't have.
Team gods, they idols, no more building you.
Yeah, prof, yeah. Oh, Jesus.
Well, who be on the Samado? And now, boys in the face of J.H. Mensah. And as I'm saying, who am party for boys here and Gombe.
If you are
general secretary, I wouldn't plan. Who party lose?
If you are quiet,
you will not allow NBC to manipulate the parliament. If you have a plan, we will not allow it. Vem no kwa de kasa no kwa utu se na nikum. Vem no kwa
se. Yeah, quiet. Na ya za be pim.
They will be they will be rolling in their grave. Rolling in their grave.
And then they prof for boa there.
I'm gumo party no. I say adu nyina moto na extreme. Gumo party no.
Yeah, chairman. Ayi e kan asem bi. Se mo ya so papa na nye dwe ene ahanta ne ahomaso anka muntie pa na anka mo analyze alanche mate ka asem bi. Obi can be about MPP and also forget about that party. It's a declining party. Se mo tenase na mo analyze baby mo free ba pa ne baby ademodro ya. There is an elephant in that room as mo anyi free ho a. Asem o kan ye no. Ebeko so aseduabo. But what you want to say, we analyze now, now we trend, and now we maybe say they see koso. Now a deep thought, and it's not coming from somebody who is shallow. It's coming from somebody who is deep-minded and a deep thinker, and somebody who is paid. Now what's now? Now you know what I said? No, Debbie. On kind of hodie. And so I said, I was saying the quad was it's a declining party, and it is. And but man, when here, committee and a committee and a committee. There is an elephant in the room that nobody is trying to touch. Elephant,
because they always see from Sudamanga. It is a mamma for some emoji. Nasema Wakano, Mentinaha, and deny the facts are a womb. Yako a con, Yadim Kubu Kasiepa, a BC in the history of this party, a free UGCC, Barbe Pimane, UP, the Abedrune, and a BC that. It is something that is a very critical position that we are in, and I can assure Prof. Say, Ejuma Bia, as I say, yeah. Now you're making sure, say, we will get things done and get it done right and bring the party back united and working force. Nipa na omo pa ba wo yemu no, ye be making sure say ye de obuo ani die odo ani ahobrase ani nukredie any tolerance any abotre betimi any omo dinkita ho na ya mo masombo amayin. And that is what I have been preaching almost all the time. And you see, it's not only me, but nipa dudona and so is in the same position that yes akomayen adisua kese kese se kayade a yetie ya se yetie afutuo no yi ampa.
Come on, you say.
Senka efia pokuya betina se kasa na ya medina temo ampa. Senka asumasi we kasa na ye ndina temo ampa. Na ye be fa no adwempa mu ne ye de akoye nimu a me feel say enka be boy. And this is the lesson that we have to learn the hard way and make sure say ye koye nimu no. How do we put ourselves together and make sure we get a great party now? All this structure way and pokra babe maya say these were the leaders of the party, their size, their heavyweight people and things like that. And going forward, I think say your battle structure, especially internal elections. And also ya dear Bakua, as I say, a sheni ye pop because says he can a dear nimbebena de biana, a discana, a diaco chuchianim, Niama Basa Basebia, and ya de bia can once him. I think it's about time we look at it seriously and make sure if whatever the position a party ni beteki ya betimi aye changes are very necessary changes are betimi aboa party number because NDC there. I will not sit here and wish them doom. I pray they do well, but we come up with much better ideas and knowledge and skills are much better any policy direction and pagana for be say yes yebetimi anyone more to kwampa and how do we couch the way we look after the governance in terms of also looking after the people who toiled and almost boy my yetimi share more journalists normally are they doona efa more media mudia and komo yani mudin komo binum ni mekasa ema niema e course wo atire bebre a ni nyina efa efriye ya eti ye behwe na ya timi akọ back on the drawing board and make sure that the prof canon ebi kura prof ya mejo number misro ya o de give me number we fia o na frame ya yes as a koku o number metima die free no na yetimi adi nkomo ye koye nimu no ene mani bi wo no a ebi a wo de fa ba bi na se nipa bi ntie a ebi a yenso ye de fa ba bi abi dum betie na yen keka mum na yen hwe ha wa oh my Ghana na yetichiro. And I'm always saying say Ghana needs to be fixed.
And a good point and our Ghana needs to be fixed. Shama way in a freezy but Abranti Emmanuel question say deliverance by fire and ammonia no tino ammonia amunko fie na mkoye momwed na monsa embra back and the bebuamo and it's good because I prof can man pope man lose one kamuntie nka semo ya eken kamuntie we plana ya kan as a said the Bruce and Freddy as a more person baby it in Kenya a man lose one kamuntie ntia uluzu it's a good time to do introspection. Prof, quickly, now me come Mahama appointment now. Why you know? Because we have a
you say it's your mind. enti ye te hey send this fresh e mra meboa e beboa send pipi fresh e mra e beboa o man no ye pese ye chire no aha technical experts nti se be hu bibi na e beboa na nyankopon so aye yadom ye wo experiences bi a ye nyenya free bebrebe from academia, from business, from so many places. Ebeboa na achichere o mine na. Eno mu na ehwe. Say ye te hey me tia school fees bebrebe. Me tia nkrofo school fees bebrebe. Omo platforms bi so na say akola we wanya onibuafo ni afa chire ni aboa. Sa boa we nyina no. Anka ban kra na ye good na ye anka beboa. Oh, na nke so ye ho atoye ntimi no me chechire oman na me boa na ma chechire oman se de be ya me so me kokoa bi no so me nya ahoto na me so me nya time ahwe me ma
very well well I'm never you never man Kingsley Mbrem because na me say Kingsley my because just and then NDC the new appointment we aba until this one is from the office of the president elect appointment to office of the president, and this is President elect John Dramani Mahama has made the following appointment to the office of the president. That's number one. Ira Julius Debra, chief of staff. He was chief of staff when President Mahama came, so he's still maintaining his position. Dr. Callistus Mahama, executive secretary to the president, he said they're not of a Asante Bedi to you know. And this is a position that was created under President Mahama in 2012. Okay, say Dr. Tuguba, Eko yes, our position, channel free one, son another person. Prosper Bani, he was also originally in the office, but now he's going as head of interim security task force, and Dr. Valerie Soya, who was then under Mahama deputy minister for finance. Now she is senior presidential advisor, governmental affairs, and also a lot of experience in government. The almighty Soya, Professor Soyaba, and no. And then we look at Augustus Guzitano, old politician from Rawlings era, presidential advisor responsible for 24-hour economy and accelerated export development, because President Mahama wants to prioritize this area. And a whole person in charge of that. And Marietta Bruopon, who was the former Attorney General, now she's legal counsel to the President of Ghana. And Honorable Felix Kwacho Fosuya, acting spokesperson to the Office of the President. So a substantive will be selected. But Okayanon also was a minister under Professor Mills. And this appointment will take effect from Tuesday, January 17th. Yes, so Mahama in this appointment will take effect. Just say earlier appointment be not in correct. This is the official team in the interim. No, they will be working with the president in the office of the president. Kingsley Mahama, good evening.
If you are say, there is a great time ahead.
Into this one, they say we are authentic. Earlier ones now for speculating and in fake boy.
Aye. Back on the year, a man for boom team. Just like you are aware, no. Some people also circulated some pardon from the office of the president, but
yeah, I hear say no pardon, also you're correct.
Exactly. There is an appetite.
Because usually pardon you should have served half of your sentence.
Yes. And I'm not for Buffy, I'm not for SCN. What is that? Capital bank or whatever.
Yeah, capital bank.
I'm not for basa, all for nothing. The person was not even pardoned. Ghanaians were like these rich people were just went to prison and then be pardoned. Of course, Eugene came up with a statement saying that no pardon was made. But then people are churning out so many things. But yes, this one is very legal. This one is very official. Every other thing before this one is just people of Ghana trying to hazard a guess.
Original. This is the initial one. No more common start to Ochina. What's your expectation for tomorrow?
Tomorrow is going to be beautiful. Very, very beautiful. Tomorrow is going to be amazing. The people of Ghana will see a spectacle of humility, the spectacle of a group of people who genuinely care about the country Ghana. And so far less money will be spent because we are aware of the times that we are in. this is the time where the people of Ghana are going to see some really, really, really nice stuff. I mean, of course, the one and only Stan Dogbe is in charge of designs and all of this stuff, beautiful stuff. So we should expect to see some really, really good stuff. And one thing as well, somebody was sharing to me, say, we are going to have a president who is going to speak from his heart and not plagiarize any statement. And so that is very important. And the people of Ghana
plagiarism issues.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen if you are. We are going to
lesson from a
we are going to hear a president who will speak from his heart to the people of Ghana, who will talk. And for the people of Ghana to understand that there is, and again, you see, the beautiful thing about John Dramani Mahama since his declaration has been how sober he has been. And he doesn't take this moment for granted. And tomorrow we are going to see that. It's beautiful to see the conveyance of the sword that he will be using, moved beautifully from the Bank of Ghana. And so on. And so I think that tomorrow is going to be a sober moment. The people of Ghana should be excited. I genuinely believe that many of us, just like many of us, we need to reconsider our transitional period. I understand that our childishness and pettiness is still very high, where presidents lose office and they begin to make a lot of appointments and a lot of drastic change measures. That is why maybe it's hard to change some of these dates. But it would be nice if we can just have at least some clear 2 months, maybe, for a transitional period. It's very tight.
November.
You know,
and there's a whole transition period all the way to January 20. Rush.
It's tight. It's tight. You know,
and recommendations and time incoming government no to me
exactly, so that they just hit the ground running. I mean, even President Trump or trying about a whole month and started making appointments, but still have a lot of time before they take over. You know, all the people have even been appointed for a government that is yet to take over, like Mike Gates, and he even stepped aside because it was not going in his favor. So you know, it would have been nice to see the people of Ghana being exposed to this opportunity where people are appointed. Like, for example, this statement literally came today, and by tomorrow they are starting work. Like, people of Ghana don't have that pleasure to be able to criticize some of these appointments because, and this is still very small, like just 7 people appointed so far. That is basically the only appointment that is official. And for example, the oral team say, you know, we all know, sir, yet the instrument is still yet to be put in place, so they are not doing anything official. Whatever they are doing now is just collecting information and data. And so it would have been nice for the president-elect to have enough time to make a lot of appointments, including cabinet ministers, including like Minister for Education. Many ministers should have been appointed by now. Like, names should have been out there where people criticize them. And then once Parliament starts sitting, with the scheduled dates and begin to pick some of these appointments. It would have been nice for us to have that. But if I'm saying that we are still in a phase where we all saw a lot of appointments that were made new in for Bank of Ghana, IRS, and many organizations that new appointments were made. But I hope that any of these things should be reversed. If your name was not in the payroll by November 2024, just forget about it. Your name will not be on the payroll 2025. And you know, clandestine appointments, monies paid, monies that are not even available, made payments made. Of course, we all know many of these statutory payments that are Nanado pushed back to 2026 are upon us. They are coming. And but unfortunately, they still took a lot of careless decisions. And it would have been nice.
It keeps the whole purchase the transition. I can say, I buy for now or banana. I want you to ban so pressure ban so because I had time with him.
Time
the first thing that you're saying.
Yes. And as you are aware, no, one of the people in charge of the finance for the incoming government for the transition is Atuforsen, and he is also the minority.
Yes.
And we didn't have his compliment towards the end. All of this beautiful debate that we had, no, he was busy, and so he was in the house today. But for example, the day the president spoke to the house, he was not, for example, available. And so many of these things would have been a bit easier on these same people when we have a short time to come up to deal with all of this.
Also, say America, the speaker elections on a different day, inauguration of parliament on a different day, president, and so on. At least I must breathing space.
It would have been
more super majority. I think sometimes in going forward we can make this adjustment. Maybe.
I think so. I think we can put some of these things in place, including transitional period. Like after elections, there should be no decision taken. Like period. Like you cannot make anything. Like for example, like it beats our imaginations. Like the fact that even the majority was still trying to push through 2 Supreme Court appointments, even after elections. Like even Obama appointee, is it Maryland Garland or whatever, the current Attorney General under Biden. When it was about 7 months to elections, if I remember carefully, it was about 7 months to elections.
Obama, I think it was Trump.
No, it was Obama. Obama appointed the current as Attorney General. No, it was Obama who appointed him as Supreme Court judge about 6-7 months to elections. But the Republican House member said he was a lame duck president and that they couldn't even allow him to even be vetted. So they didn't even vet him at all. You can check that.
If you are Kingsley, NDC versus is almost super majority. They have a speaker. It's where they say you find in parliament.
Exactly.
These are low hanging
with the majority you have in parliament.
These are low hanging
fruits. Say, Prof, say you bon come and you know, let's do it. So I am saying, sir. We need
but Kingsley, we start this question after inauguration. Do you think the NDC will kick home running? Move to me and start to be because expectation is high. Expectation is high.
If you're the NDC does not have a choice, President John Dramani Mahama does not have a choice. And by the way, President John Dramani Mahama is clear in his mind and it's clear the mandate. Then again, like I said earlier, the soberness of the incoming president, for me, is one beautiful thing that, and the people of Ghana are going to have a different John Dramani Mahama, a John Mahama that is aware that the people of Ghana have seen it fit, that they have entrusted to his hands 4 years. And that is all he has, by the way. He has 4 years. And there is nothing we can do about that. And these 4 years, he doesn't have a choice but to hit the ground running. And if you're one of the reasons why you have to be careful, the kind of people you send to parliament, for example, is because you are scared that he will not pass. Like, this is not the case here. We are going to send them to parliament. Debates are going to happen, and then they will vote to be cast on them. But that said, we are not going to see the likes of how Yakubu being pushed to people to the parliament, say, go and you'll be voted for. We are not going to see things like that. We are not going to see ministers of state who can stand on public platform and make very careless statements. We are going to see, and you see, by the way, if you are, when you see
be careful what you are.
If you know something, the NDC is noted for that. Where we don't have so many people who speak so carelessly in our Ghana politics. Of course, we've seen the NDC members who have been committed to this journey that we have.
What's the problem with
he's welcome. If you are Ukaya, Captain Smart, Ebisa, a question, is it Fred Owari, former and current vice chair of the MPP, say, Ombo Hospital Bakwa, MPP starts here every year. We all know how that.
I can't even minister and answer Fred Owari.
Obisa, Fred is also. And Ashanti region, there no Obisa development in Ashanti region. Under his leadership, the MPP started and completed. It's unfortunate that somehow we still have the effrontery to continue to put the NDC and the MPP on the same pedestal and have conversations with them. The NDC have built completed universities, hospitals, and many things. The MPP has still not done that yet. And this whole loud noise about Agenda 111, we still haven't seen one hospital being completed. We've seen uncompleted runabout that the Nanado is mounting. God, hey,
but is the issue really about completion? So forget about MPP. I think Nanado State of the Nation address. I think he threw a challenge to President Mahama, say on year project, and that is alone is an indication. So on year, so he told him to Oba or Sena on to us no on year.
If we don't need.
Is that really the issue? At least Obia started. That should be the conversation.
If you are right. If we don't need a president like. Look, the biggest error that the Ghana have made, Nanado to advise John Mahama. Nanado had 8 years. Even his promise to God Almighty, didn't even see foundation. National Cathedral, no.
Kingsley Okasama in this year now.
Yeah, Kingsley and this year.
It's officially now.
Yeah. Kingsley speaks for NDC. Yeah.
Hey, Prof. Hey.
Anyway, Prof only wants a clarification so that he knows
Prof,
Kingsley,
in 2016,
a piece of advice.
Oh, Prof,
I'm sorry. I'm doing that in the public domain.
No.
The way you are talking, I beg you.
Prof, you know something, eh? You know something, eh?
I beg you.
You see, unfortunately,
I beg you.
Oh no, sir, I am saying to you, sir. You see, we have seen Jerry Rawlings run an office for 8 years. We have seen President Mills and President John Dramani Mahama run an office for 8 years. And I'm saying that we've seen President Kufuor run an office for 8 years. We've seen Anado run an office for 8 years. I'm saying that the NDC and NDP are not qualified to be put on the same pedestal, full stop. And that is a fact. And the people of Ghana have stated that in no uncertain terms. Look, and I'm saying that the statements that Anado made, and Reverend Duncan William also said Anado made a personal promise to God. I'm saying that, and if you why?
Archbishop Duncan Williams.
Archbishop Duncan Williams, yes. He made
but he was the chairman of the committee who said
yes, and then he also resigned.
And he resigned at what time? When the SHIT hit the fan, then he resigned.
Indeed. They are all culpable. I agree with you.
They are all not genuine. They resigned when everything fell apart. The beginning at the moment, prayer topic. I mean, sometimes we must. I had some stints on the committee with them. Even the first day I went to their meeting to tell them that they will not work. No? Or you saw me as I mean, person mechanic might be because of.
I know.
You see me prayer topic. No, or can fire me. I mean, seriously.
I know.
Why did you accept to be the chairman of the committee? Why did you accept?
If you're Danado doesn't listen to anybody, by the way. When we spoke against, sir, the CEO of Keta Harbour, he was paid for 8 years. Why? Did we not talk against it? That somebody who didn't, the CEO for Keta Harbour, where there is nothing, was paid for 8 years. If Danado does not listen to anybody, he promised God. He failed abysmally.
And
then when
the likes of the cathedral from the because you people were against it.
Mr. Kingsley, my advice to you is speak to the goodwill of JM, please, on this platform. Personal advice I'm giving you: speak to the goodwill of JM and going forward. There may be if you are speaking for the party, maybe I don't think it is good for you or it's good for the party. So speak to the my advice. I don't know. And as an advice, you can ignore it or take it.
Thank you, Prof. And your advice is well. I heard it. I thought what can I add?
Mati.
Prof, see what I'm saying is that
because the question was about what we should expect because all eyes will be on President Mahama, all eyes will be on NDC.
Yes. If you're an American, you see what I'm saying is that if you're what do you to expect includes the things that Mahama will do tomorrow and the whole ceremony and what we are getting away from. And by the way, we heard some people say, Apenyo said today, the mini minority leader incoming said today, oral was illegal, and actually scared already. That President John Dramani Mahama was not voted for to come and recover all loot. It's a lie. One of the first
but all I know was legal. It is legal. because the president has not gotten the president-elect doesn't have a mandate yet.
No, but I don't know.
Doesn't have legal authority. It will only attain legal authority from 7th. Prior to that, he doesn't have legal authority.
Nobody is saying so. Again, I'm saying that if you heard him speak on it, it was despicable. I mean, nobody asked for. He didn't have to talk like that. The people of Ghana are happy about Oral. Oral is not a legal entity yet. We all are aware of that. And I made a statement here earlier. I said the instrument will be put in place. Sebi. Until the OSP became a legal entity, it was an illegality. So what? So what? But if they are doing something right now, that is why you can say that all that they are doing now is collecting data and collecting information. That is the only thing they are doing currently. And that is what they are doing. There is nothing illegal about that. Nothing
There's nothing legal enforcing what they are doing.
No, absolutely. So I'm saying that for Atu to preempt and be jumping the horse and be saying that if you touch one, you touch all and trying to, I mean, look.
I think he's only telling you, say, laws were into law be a back in one.
It is a bad precedent for a leader to be saying touch one, touch all. If you remember, if you remember what John Dramani Mahama said, John Dramani Mahama said that I have served my nation. Posterity will judge me. I am available. I'm going to be in the country if I have done anything. He didn't say if you touch all, touch all. If you don't, no, nobody in the NDC said that. When Atu Forsen was being taken to court, even though we know it was illegal, we didn't say right, people supported, people went there to support him, but we didn't see the like of the things that we saw in the past. Where, for example, Kennedy Japan made a statement about, that statement, and then he was invited to the police at police headquarters. You remember what happened there? You see, when we make statements like that,
waiting a prof too for no, because when Kokwanyido was arrested as deputy general secretary, when you know until we people fell out with Kokwanyido, this is something that more parties in Amoye. What happened with Kennedy Japan? What happened with Kokwanyido? No, for me, who has followed politics for a long time, it is the same thing. The only thing I'm saying that Kingsley, when you overwhelming vote, you have the goodwill of the people. There's expectation of the people. Dear Namobaya in the beginning, 120 days, Mahama, I don't know, a measurable items are. Susuni. Why don't you focus on how to focus on? When these are distractions.
We are talking about, you say 120 days, and I'm saying oral is part of the 120 days, and I will refer now. Oral is part of the 120 days.
But oral only gets the 120 when it comes to after 7. 120 days don't start counting from 7 January. It's not counting before 7.
Is that why we are here? Are we talking about things that
the oral only has their mandate after 7. Before 7, only to me. It is a document. Then Nippon can refuse to give them that document because there's no authority backing the oral until 7.
If your question is asking me, what are we to expect? And I'm talking about by the 7th oral will be expected. It will be.
Before 7th. Okay, I mean, it's not bad legally.
I am saying that. Look, I think you and I are saying the same thing. You are asking me a future tense. I'm speaking in the future. I am not speaking in the past. I'm not saying the oral is a legal entity today. Come on, man. Let's make progress. I'm saying that tomorrow is going to be beautiful. The people of Ghana are going to be excited because there is hope for the country. I am saying to the people of Ghana that all your cries, that every loot should be recovered. I'm saying that from tomorrow, you can expect that John Dramani Mahama will put the legal instrument in place, the parliamentarians will put the legal instrument in place to make sure. And I have proposed to many people who know that when we had this conversation, I said, let us extend it all the way to 1992. Because you see, for me, this illegality of government officials taking property from the country Ghana, it is unacceptable and it's got to change. And we must go as far back as 1992, when our 4th Republic Constitution was put in place, and every single sale should be reverted to the people of Ghana. The law of Ghana is clear. All the lands, the Ghana lands that have been sold since 1992, the law of Ghana is clear that the country collected some of these lands for the purposes that the Ghana government will put them in use. And if for any reason the Ghana government did not put them into that use, the land should be reverted to the people of the Ghana land. And I'm saying that all of these loots, including the Achimota forest that people were appropriating to themselves forever, should be brought back to the state. It's as simple as that. And every loot should be recovered. And I'm saying that, look, preempting and calling names and saying that if you touch one, touch all, I'm saying that you are preempting things. You can say that in the moment that some of these things come up, like for example, when Tuforsen was facing an illegality, he did. He went there and defended himself. Every single one of you should. Why? Are we not aware that even members of the MPP are screaming and saying that they will give information for some of you guys to be arrested? Are we not aware? So I'm saying that the loot that our people have seen, the corruption, the ineffectiveness, that a presidency, this is the first look. When the Amma was talking about how not to govern a country, it is a fact that seeing the way President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, never again should that thing happen to our country. We want a leader, and then they have the guts to get up and say, for the first time, for the second time, excuse me, we are going to see real development coming back to Ghana again. Hospitals will be built. Projects that are ongoing will be completed. You can bet that progress will be made. Housing issues will be dealt with, possibly. And you can expect that real solution will be put down for doom so. Look, that's the artificial thing. And it's unfortunate that we have to make statements that we kept the lights on. Really? Kept the lights on? Is that what you call this? Where we've gone through where the lights have been off several times, even days to elections. So we can expect that John Dramani Mahama will deal with some of these things the way he dealt with them in the past. Some and many of these chieftaincy issues, hopefully, will bring many of them to an end.
And do you think these things will be done in 120 or maybe 100 days? Or maybe beyond?
If when I said dealt with, I don't mean solved. I'm saying that
at least there will be a process will begin.
Yes, many of these things will be dealt with. The crime rate in our country is unsustainable. We cannot continue. Well, I don't know if you've seen some of these things where people are robbed at gunpoint daylight in Ghana. I'm saying that, you see, and we thank God. God. Hey, the first time after we knew that the elections was won, I was talking to some people and I said if Kofi Boakye was even in the grave, we should resurrect him. And I'm grateful for everything that is happening right now. Kofi Boakye is back, Ghanaians. And all those criminals on the street, Kofi Boakye is back. Kofi Boakye is back. And
so they better run.
Hopefully, we pray that maybe, if it is, I'm saying, what I said at the time is that let's resurrect him and give him back the IGP. And give the IGP to him. But even if it is his Minister for Interior, for me, that would be exciting because we need some real strength in our country. This crime rate, I don't care whether it is Ghanaians, I don't care whether it is Nigerians, it's got to stop. Ghanaians, we love each other. No matter who we are, we solve our problem by fight, by scream, we can insult. We don't use guns. This proliferation of so many arms in our country, we must bring it to an end. We must have a real solution where, just like we did in the past, where people surrender their guns and money is paid to them. But this is unattainable. For example, in the past, where one criminal like Atayi was the only one terrorizing people, went after him and got him arrested. Now it's like every house has a branch of crime. Like we cannot, this is unacceptable. Where thugs go into our court, intimidate judges, and walk away free. We are saying that the rule of law is back in Ghana. A fear, rule of law.
We are going to see the rule of law.
If the Supreme Court absolutely needs some appointment, President John Dramani Mahama should appoint new Supreme Court judges. If the MPP genuinely think there is a need for it, let us appoint new Supreme Court judges.
But Kirsty, from where you are coming from, do you think that there's a need for new appointment? Because President, limit to be anyhow, he can still appoint.
Absolutely. And those are the things that we hope that there should be some limit 10 post on to them. So they said the America crowd said, is it 12 or 14? 12. And I think so, 9. Is it? Oh no.
Is that 9 or 11?
I think I think it's 9 or 11. So I mean, even the whole America have this number. And you see, for example, Biden literally ruled under 7-5 and I say whatever it is. Crowd, they've gone through it, and our Supreme Court judges need to grow up. Forgive me, the Supreme Court justices need to realize that they have ultimate power. The moment you have taken this, the oath of office, you don't owe any president anything anymore. This attitude where we don't have dissenting views coming from our Supreme Court, it's not the best. It's not the best. We need to have a court that we can trust. We need to have a court that stands by the people of Ghana. And you see, I am hoping that our Ghana now will have 3 real arms of government. What we've seen in Akufo-Addo for 8 years was, like I told you, we had 1 arm and 2 limbs. Literally, where the Supreme Court was, for example, look at the case where the Supreme Court had to sit on recently, where the NDC took a case to High Court on 16th, and then somehow the case for the 7th was heard, and like judgment have been passed. And thank God, Supreme Court said no, you couldn't do that. At least grant the lawyers a hearing. We cannot have a country where even people are judgment.
Well, I think I want to anti-legal process, nothing. But that's the reason why the Supreme Court is there. The courts are there for these reasons, because you say courts are different. It's the same high court, or the case called earlier than 6. I know why here back before that, but they're different high courts.
If you're in this particular case,
high court, another court, commercial court, another court, another court. Not say Obi Fred, another case earlier. There are different judges handling the case.
If you're
the Supreme Court is there, the hierarchy of courts, you're sharing it for a reason. I say the US somewhere state court, federal court.
If you're in this particular case, in this particular case, the second case was in front of the judge that very minute when he was reading judgment. And then Uji pointed to him, say, my lord, the case is in front of you. And the case was called later. The case was right in front of him. So
but this is Kingsley, the Supreme Court and our court was shown, Court of Appeal, Supreme Court. No? Yes. They are there to correct lower courts. No?
But
it's just the right thing. This is why I actually check out hierarchies. No.
But I am saying to you, sir, I am saying that, you see, it is different, sir. We see a case where me and you, we are arguing and we are not too sure. Things like this, where somebody's asking that, hear me out. Like, you see, and it shouldn't take the Supreme Court for real to come and tell you, say, like, you should have heard them out. Like,
it takes them the Court of Appeal. That's their job. Fair hearing is a legal process.
All I'm saying is that
Justice some of them make if you all read your judgment, some of them can make very blatant infantile mistakes, but that is why they are human beings. And I don't think higher court I can see no say they are all formally making mistake, they all trying to bet me check it, they all form.
Fantastic. And you see, listen to the statement that you made. Some of them make infantile mistakes. And so what I am saying is, my hope is that we move towards a point where we are a lot more accurate than making infantile mistakes. We begin to it shouldn't be so bad that we just deal with some of these things as if people don't have rights. We are a country, and again, thank God, 2024 went well, such that we didn't have to. Our country is beautiful. We have lost elections with 200,000 votes. We've lost elections currently 1.8 million. But I'm saying that it's good. Our people should begin to know that, look, time changes. Even President Akufo-Addo, who many thought was absolutely, make some of the careless statements about the fact that he will somebody hand over somebody that he will hand over to him. But here we are. I'm saying that we need to be careful. Our president needs to live above some of these things and realize that power truly belongs to the people of Ghana and people of Ghana only. Where we have seen ministers stand on platforms and say, hey, we will not hand over, and I'm talking about Brian Achampong, we will not hand over the likes of Komi. Look, I'm saying that politicians.
I can't hear when you make reference to these things. And this is also can be. I'm like, politicians, but at the end of the day, look, promoting natural.
I am sure when NBC made a statement, maybe in 2014 or whatever you want to refer to, we spoke about it. Today we are talking present tense. Let's talk present tense.
I'm saying the value of what the politicians say, bragging against the co-promoting always will be supreme.
I'm saying all I'm saying is
that show now 88% of multi-media so far. Some of these things are just political. But you have 4 years no. Sure. Okay, Chairman, briefly, what do you think about the Kingsley Akenya asset Also, am I ready? They are ready to face and deliver within the 4 years. Maybe
Well,
about to keep the 4 years is enough because Niamano Dawson. Niamano my promise in Dawson.
yeah, and I think you can also see clearly that Minya Kingsley, the argument and the way he's literally pushing things and speaking now, is even trying to make President Mahama's job become very difficult for him. Because if you begin to go down this line by even Obi Ayenyanso and Inkranwe, Niema Mono Anunti Yato about Pamobi. And no moment I will cycle refer back to, and you are asking him going forward, what do we do? Within that 120 days promise, Yura Muhammad Demai. Within that, he said he's going to even abolish e-levy. I thought he was going to also tackle that to tell us that if it's going to be indeed, are they obeying me? E-levy me free one
That will
part. And
happen
I
in the
said,
first month.
what do you mean?
It will happen in the first month.
Me pacho kasana me also.
He's giving the 11 more confirms him.
It will go. 11 will go in the first month.
Now you see,
Hey.
and this is Ubia Wofia Krawia and Maria would test here. You're trying to do a little bit justice to try and lure the Ghanaians' minds to say and accept it just in case because I'm happy. But right now, Kingsley is sitting here confidently saying, say, and I've seen even a video or something like that that President Mahama has spoken about this e-levy, any betting levy,
Betting tax.
say betting tax, yeah. Says because of IMF untino, and yeah, me attaching it now. But Kingsley, this is here you are, and you are saying this emphatic. Say a idea within 120 days, say e-levy, ampa ebeko. Yen na yet ya for sometimes you're talking about court processes. This government of Nana Danko Akufo-Addo has done a lot in terms of soft infrastructure and infrastructure building, even court houses for judges to be able to say partner courts are building and so all these areas are something that we have done really well in terms of even transforming their systems, digitalizing the space so that cases can be able to say, bet me gradually, bet me a catch it, meaning say America now, and as a minimum UK, bet me about beto or mukaka, or baby. And the governance is a process. But as you see, I'll buy our started and agenda 111. Say, yantimi and you bakukra, but yes, say, you're free so. Mumu komuja your friend is saying e-blocks muslim even 46 your buyer your call handing over note no muno is any a prof can and then say your call and I go who the genuine I'm multi we more than your multi a year the boarding facilities now account yet me yeah the call and me I believe say this blame game, I don't think that it can stop automatically though. But more we need a lesson. In. And still, you are now talking in the past of near Obian Timianye. Ghana for say, oh my fed up with us. Whether it is true that oh my fed up with us in terms of a Juma ya kasa. And as I say, yen as party and government is subain any idea nadi editor. There are so many technical issues in place. And until ma Saudi we are happy. Kingsley, look at how the majority among ya Mudi Bose and Pastor says Mudi Bose. Look at the number. Even the president in Nankasa Eddie Winnie. He only increased his votes by only 100,000.
Yeah, but Chairman, it doesn't matter who increase.
No, I'm just saying that. I'm saying that. But the point here is say expectation na wa bontene ho no and yewura mama me dan say o kan say abaya de bot tachi no ye de bebo ba eti wo ti wo ya wo kan na wo dwa onum kakra say bi o keka nsem ye akese ne mo ba yi even the transitional notes kura na ya hand ya mamusisi ano yenya hu de wom ane ni aye bekwa akoyi afiri mu ane ni aye kwa akoyi ho adwuma enti mesrew it's like I'll bet you prof advice in the kakra. Na one mamu holiday na honeymoon na era mama kasi emfama no one kasa kra no so hia. Enti Ghana for so tin as the amount say want to call honeymoon kakra. Na ultimate restructure no. In terms of the changes of timing of this transitional period. Me know ya adwene you too close. Say nyame ayadom ya to abama mo. Me cry I was thinking say if possible I was a drum bi kra nanka easy percent yentwe abato na nkasa kra from
November, yeah.
December and from November said there be a transition period, you know, a bit anya good time to plan. I think it's the same thing. We can also push it back instead of say pushing it forward, you know. You bet me at Yaban December now, but can we also push it back to maybe February instead of January? Nina and Yama, Ghana in tea, as I see it, Miche, Nayato. They say Munamoa Bemu, Diana Shemunsa. Majority, which is a very good sizable majority, are yet decent for you to do exactly what you guys want to do to transform our country for us. We are going to back you, wish you well, and pray that many of the promises that Mumeki, you know, Mubet deliver. We're not going to sit there and praise them unfairly. But Mr. Communications ni bo one try now I'm not from kakra, especially the cathedral yasema ko by clearly mu ankasa NDC for mu ye hu de sa de no enye ma yenye avere na mu si yantimi anye. And these are the areas if you're not careful afi na akoye ti say there be a way ko kan we no blame obi no obi so blame obi mo be be yes akasa na juma na say wo grounds na ese mutimi money hwe na moye no na akoye dede keke mesrew mo ko monimi kanie ma mo ba mo ye na wo bobo bi so kire nkakra ye di free ha ye di abeduru ababi ayen ye feli ya yentimi ammo ye di no dawro ye adwuma ya ye gu Ghana ese moto aso no I'm telling you say mo amamoni na wa Ghana for be di ne brebi mu jija bi wonwira mu ampa say agenda 111 pa mo betina say ama de wo kase ye nwie ni na be I am telling you say no nko ade ye Ghana for ntimi fa ntem ba kokra da enti ese no de mo bo modin na mo finish as many as
your chairman prof quickly answer na prof do you think the 4 years with the expectation and go for one because expectation in mode and we deliver your money in the next 4 years no do you think
Debbie to me na
why
I won't say and yet and NDC baba mu ma ba mu da and then yet and eso na MPP so baba ma baba mu da so na me bom ani a kire Kingsley na ontie no say me na me ye the chairman and come man nkasa da from now going until we get 4 years. I'm telling you. Debbie. Say your opposition and come man kasa. Banye wa bam. So enye wa bam, especially when you baba muda.
Prof, we are in opposition. If you care to know, we are in opposition.
They will come to government from tomorrow.
Tomorrow, I don't know why you are making mistakes. Like, Prof, straighten your thoughts.
Adewe, ye di echirache. Enyam kwala ye di echirache. Inza ko ni mani bo a. So enka me
ho na ni nti also tie.
Wanti. So
onfa. Ose wate bonfa.
Ena me ka no. Ena nti na me ka kire senka me na nka me ye chairman nka me mane apie ba bia so be kasa da. Woni bibi, hwe. Omai no e de omure pa ahye President John Mahama mu. Omo de omure ene omo bibia ahye ni mu. Nko betina ha yi. Enka de ere na e de ahye ni mu no. Eno mu gidie eno so de kasa. So eni bona na me bono no asechere no. Eno mu gidie ene e fe no say enkwa ene omo fe no goodwill. In business, if you want to win business, sales are goodwill is about 60% of it, and relationship building is about 80% of it. Yakano, hey, cosmetics keke. So anka obaye anka or building relationships, anka or building bridges. So or the goodwill no, building or the building collaboration. And no, any friend say, oh kasama party say, yeah, konkai. Now you obey Oko university, no, university, if any say we political science 101 propaganda. So, and yet, no, so end the because and near ma, sounds in Ghana. Okay, menka any other sector, road sector, and near ma, a war, it was an NDC tackle, and yet, wait to how can you? About 6 flyovers from Kaswa to Winneba. I'm telling you,
I was saying this deliver.
I was here, Oko Kumasi Road. Just say, my diverted kind of grave free. If I say, you never near it, I also must start on my year. This Mimeka and a home corner make home. Say, why now? Timemufone Bubefu. Say, why, yes, also Yasam, Papa be as some Debbie, Eddie. Catch your woman. And yen and another I caught name, near 1 yen in your year, and Obika is your litigate on a grand near free home. And to come back to and walk the goodwill, any regime, any messaging, tact with tact. So
I think he's also talking about baby or more for mine free. Anyhow, it will be difficult for them to continue. I think that's why he's trying to paint their picture.
If you're into prof, when you have an opportunity, speak what you know. Prof, you 7 minutes you are talking about me. Prof, the fact of the matter is that you don't know how far some of us are. You come, I'm coming. You spoke a plenty. When you have an opportunity to speak,
you don't.
I think he wants to weigh a point of what
You can't take it. You can't take it. You can't take it. Prof, say something sensible to the people of Ghana, not me. Again, you don't know how far we've come. This thing, whenever you come here, you say, "Oh, I'm your Ghana." That's the fear. We all. Do you know how much campaign I've done? Do you know how much work I've done? And I'm telling you what the people of Ghana think. Were you on the campaign field with me? Were you on the campaign field with the MVP or NDC? Please. When you
research.
Exactly. If you research, let me a campaigner. Do you know what I had? So if I'm speaking about the people of Ghana, you to speak yours. That is why, with all due respect.
But I think he's and also
he's just
different from the communication in government.
If you're Ukaya, as 24 say, can be. Let me Kebi. One can speak yours. Come on, man. Like you say something if you have it. If you say to the people of Ghana, I am telling you what I know. And you don't know which corteses I have been in. You started by asking about where I'm coming from, who I'm talking for. They have addressed that, and you are still on it. I mean, come on, man. If you have anything, just go for it. But otherwise, let's make progress.
Okay, Prof, what do you have your point? Because I say on Friday, all kind of course, he knows what he's doing, and he's speaking to the people he thinks he information when anything that he's speaking to it. Prof, conclude your comment now, which is that 4 years. So say to me yet, because the money is normal, a dozen. 4 years will not be enough.
If your friend is a President Kufuor or Kasimbi, or what NDC for a take power, a friend power friend. And one of the journalists called Hokobisa and said, hey, and he say, they are no baby yet in opposition. And I say, Sanka, on Kobida. And Kobe but what kwaku who say, and ya dear, even 4 years a cry. Obekasa, Etia, Abino, and this Abine. If you say 4 years in his shop, your mouth 4 years is saw the bay, the obey.
I think that when he was proposing, say, Omunyan, Omope bin Kahono.
Yes, Nemum, ye the obetimia ye. Na and so Ghana for any. No mum dear, he will stay off criticizing because wakobida into him said it. And I make sure say, and near ma a walk aquemua MPP for starting. Say, and this is Kraka say, Omo Twaswa. There is no way. Say, Ombetimi ayenina. So, Nemum Otu for catcher, I catch it. Another say, ye be. Nagana for who's why they. Why ye be? That's my belief. Meaning, say President Mahama, who said me by now chronology of where he's coming from, and the party that is supporting him, and the structures that is supporting him, they will not let him go astray. He will stay focused. So, perhaps
I so confident say they know what they've done and they know how to deliver it in 4 years. If at least the basic ones not President Mahama they how they can deliver it in 4 years. Until no, you're confident, no.
If you it's a political talk, and I make a President Kufuor Asembi. President Kufuor.
But that was over 10 years ago, 10, 20 years ago.
One said the problems of the country has quadrupled. That's quadrupled. 10 years ago now, loans and OG, and they said loans and AG. So and the population cries say. So be double, if not even tripled. So and I make us say, me warishim say, well, and me mau events be say, what's party structure now? These are people who served in parliament with the president. So they will not let him falter.
Okay.
They will let him stay on course. But looking at Enyeman MPP Diegu Akwemuno, I just give you one instance. Road Samoye. So one instance. So it will be so much. I want to mean. However, so and then you plead for more time. Said the President Kufuor Khan said, okay. Want to be for 4 years? Or manifesto crowd, or be no other 4 years in a manifesto. Or be apart from manifesto now, and I promise is or be no bit me, but ye be. So ye be, and then plead for more time.
Okay.
More time, no. And then the back and say, wait, the near break. And then they didn't break it. But more time now, be pleading. No. And yes, about propaganda talk. And Anke Base, nothing. I started draws our comparison. No. MPP for cry, MP, a honor who said, fail why abem. So, maybe I don't think so. But me, any Nemo, the Obaya, Mamma key and Yemedi, Ghana for Epe and Hang.
Epe,
some of whom behind high woman.
Okay.
Any key.
In the economic, in terms of purchasing power.
Yeah, my mention idea almost interest rate. I say cholesterol. You cannot brofo interest rate. Ubu huna ubu also more can brofo rodo. But I say cholesterol. On say cholesterol. If you come, wako hospital, wako test. Near so cholesterol. Na fina affect it. And near my baby. So me. A 24 pound a dorsal Ghana. A 24. Sanka interest rate in Kwanka or Takono. Na manko for hama. A bed manko for be a near be moi high.
Okay.
So a near man getting be a get what we have micro no and your macro. Obeti me a chichi. Baby, a manko for hama. A bema goodwill now, Kurano.
So as far as you are concerned, the major thing that Mahama tackle your economy issue, no.
Yes.
Okay.
And no be man for one high one. Oh, we are on set, and I make us say, and Nema MPP for the work because of free SHS, no, you have a huge number of people on Juma. Eguho. And me no, and me china, et was so 4 years ago, a government a friend say every public university 30% increase. Someone found Crawford. Oko lecture hall, I may war Adamphobia or tech. Also on child the undergraduate bill at the year. Students almost about 4,000.
Yeah, too much.
So, Entaneo, Enkachina, Enti, and I also to me for 4 years, and so for our unemployment. So, Enti na make us on to me.
The company said, do you think Mahama will need a second term? Maybe a constitutional review so that at least Mahama can get a second term. Send a Wawa 4 years into me. Akonya 8 years, perhaps maybe to a large extent, no, he can substantially deliver on Yamana Wakano.
Say a two-pronged Wakan. One, you are talking about legality, which is the constitution, to change it. Two, Obeko voters Wakacham say, hey, Mr. T, maybe I made Rooney into Mr. Remo, me, I'm going to promote you. So, in two beside my question, was it obey here second term now? Yes, but we also can I say one on to me for the second term. However, they have majority. Our parliament. Me, I constitution. I will subject something like that on a referendum. Now, on my money decide say, your friend say 5 years and I say whatever how many years. And
with that kind of good word, Mahama was say, and our cancer enjoy no. Say, or the call referendum, I do think it's something he will win.
It's possible. It's possible. It's possible. Nemum, Mr. Median says, oh, our regime, say, the also obey Nina. Sa referendum no.
Okay.
Because so to me, yes, I need any money in Adia. And yes, and Procomotino. And I'm going to focus them say, moderation means that. And Miss Mediation means that. Niam what a share means, Sano.
Maybe.
Niam Miss Mediation, my home Sano. Maybe, ain't you know, Niam Chester, Monfama, maybe you. So, aha. And I say, Monfama, my party view. Say, Monfama, maybe to me, could you. And I might me yet man change constitution intimo and you man me dear go akwamu na ya abesi na me hu se aso ani no mo fama me party view na me party dey ento aso.
Okay, very well. I think it no make sense because what are we insist 4 years is enough because problem is just using historical say party be anyone that for the public what we the promises in 4 years until on that basis no cut 4 years in the moon to me nyamo Obi our baby and to me and we in near 4 years.
If you
but when your second term come on substantially me
if you are on a light note, me na me prof chairman and come man kasabim. Prof, the question was that Anyama Mahama edia to ho so be ye no bet me ya na. And the prof was like Anyama me before crowd to kwemu no what does MIB before that?
Comparison, say parties
Yes. I'm
better than yes and no. Limiting it to NDC. Or say, if you look at historical antecedent and the Fourth Republic, no party has been able to fulfill their promises in one term, and therefore, by extension, NDC cannot do it in one term, but they can substantially deliver in 2 terms. That's what he said.
On a straight serious note. I am saying that, and again, I agree to some extent on some of the things that he said. You see, projects change along the line, but John Dramani Mahama have been very careful in his promises. If you look at his promises, for example, and again, when we make statements, let's be clear. John Dramani Mahama did not go and promise the people of Ghana that remember money in our phones, no matter one city. So we are talking about things that, for example, look at his 120 promises. In the first 14 days, complete the list of cabinet ministers. Number 2, constitute the leanest and the most efficient government. Is that impossible? Number 3, establish a code of conduct for all government officials. Is that impossible?
Let's say 120 depend on what kind of promises.
But I'm saying that if you read the documents very carefully, I'm saying that these are realistic stuff. I'm saying that if Prof, for example, I've said, or Castle BC Airport 20, and you want me see, I would then say, I'm saying that the things that John Mahama have put on paper, the NDC have put on paper, they are simple things that we, the people of Ghana, need. And I'm saying that, for example, if you say that, Ora, for example, if your court processes are long, but if the people have been put in process and then they are in front of court, will you say the person didn't do his work? You will not say that. You will say that he has done his work. Now it's left to the court to finish their part. So has he finished? Somebody can say, oh, because the people didn't end up in jail, he didn't finish. Another person can say he has done his part. So I'm saying that John Dramani Mahama, who has been the president of Ghana before, who has been a vice president before, who has been an MP before, knows what he is speaking about before he went to the people of Ghana. It's unfortunate, for some reason. Again, I respect Prof a lot. I respect all of us. But let us not sit on our chairs when we've not even contested for any election before. And
but Kingsley, I think to be fair, he's just giving you an analysis. He's not speaking.
I agree. I agree with you. I agree. I'm
he's giving you historical, and you say under for the public, I 30-something years. No single party, including NDC under President Rawlings, 2 terms under President Rawlings, under Prof Samuels, under President Mahama, first one, nobody has been able to fulfill all their promises in 1 term. Right. So it's not fair to say that he's sitting in his chair.
No. By the way,
specific analysis.
Efia, I'm not saying him.
You take the JMD and the second coming day in isolation. So to me, he will create history, but he's saying the historical records shows that nobody. That one is a fair analysis.
Efia, I'm not saying it's not fair, but if you have heard the last part of my statement, you would have seen what I'm saying. I'm saying that let us not sit down in our homes and think that we know way more than any of these politicians.
I don't think anybody has alluded to that.
I'm coming. I'm saying that let us give them some grace, that they also know what they are saying.
Okay.
That is basically what I'm saying. So I'm saying that, for example, I would be fair with him. I would have understood if he says, oh, do you think that John Mahama can finish all the things? I hope so. I don't think so. But for you to be blunt and say, it's for me, that is what I'm taking the issue with. I'm saying that John Dramani Mahama did not prophesy.
But with the records that has been available in the Fourth Republic, what is different about Mahama achieving Nina? Again, don't limit yourself to 120, no.
Right.
The promise is you stabilize the economy, knowing that we levy fee or now you betting tax, we other ones now. Ghana, Mahama no catch say your revenue base is. In fact, debate Mahama Koyo can say the structure of the economy must be changed. And the structure of the economy has remained the same to today. And so can he deliver in 4 years?
Efia, John Dramani Mahama, in leaving office, are you not aware that there was a lot more reserve than any of our presidents have left in the Fourth Republic? Are you not aware that President Mahama have even left Ghana crude oil that is lasting us for 6 months? Did he promise that? No. But did he deliver that? Yes. And if he did not, if he chose not to have left all of that for the people of Ghana, is it not possible to deliver the rest? Absolutely possible. So I am saying to you that John Dramani Mahama has walked this road before. Like we say crudely in Ghana, follow person who know road. John Mahama have been on this road before. And one thing that John Mahama, maybe I forgot to state or to quote, that John Mahama warned Baumia and Nanado that you have never been in this office before. Be careful the things you say. You think that the person who said, sir, you've never been here, be careful, doesn't know what he is saying. I am saying that the reason why you and I are not the president of Ghana or president-elect is because to us, we have a right to think, sir, Charlie, because nobody has done ABCD, nobody can do it. I am saying that John Mahama have walked this road before. Let us give him some grace that he knows what he is saying. He knows how he will achieve it. For example, do I think that 60 ministers will be enough? No. I don't think it will be enough. John Mahama says that is what he needs. If he comes to the people of Ghana and says, Charlie, I said 60, but I think I need 65. That is his problem with the people of Ghana. So I am saying that he has walked this road before. And let us just be hopeful that John Mahama, look, already so much has happened. And I've said it here. And some people say, no. Even the you see, if you are aware, sir, if you have followed this crypto Bitcoin things, the day President Trump was elected, it was completely crazy in the
Yeah.
On the 20th of January, people are expecting the SRP is going to jump because on that day, the SEC boss is going to resign. Mind you, this SEC boss is the one that have taken SRP to court. And to resign here, the person Trump is putting in his place is crypto friendly. So people believe that. So I'm saying that even the macro economy, even the exchange rate of Ghana, the dollar rate versus the
respond to
confidence have come. So because of that confidence, the point that he's making, sir, interest rate alone, a lot of it is because of the dollar rate. Under President Mills and President Mahama, didn't we see the amount of work that was done to push the agenda where Ghana was producing its own rice? Didn't you hear President Mahama when he said, sir, was it corn or something that they said he was surprised that we were importing 4 billion? And I said tomatoes or something like that. He said, I was baffled that it wasn't under President Mahama that we have a sugar factory. Like, I'm saying, and so that was a real factory that could have employed Ghanaians. I am saying that under President, it's not like, you see, what can I for say, oh, don't say, I'm saying that John Dramani Mahama.
It is doable. That's your point. It's doable.
And in the face of the many things that Prof is saying, before they say, if the MPP have put the projects on paper and have chopped the money, then of course, Sometimes that is why many times president or incoming government don't run to site. They want to see what is there. How much money did you use? Do we have to prosecute these people and then get the monies back? So sometimes that is why some of these projects may be hanging. But if there is money under the project and you have paid the contractors, why will any government stop them? They would have continued the work and finished the work. And then, by the way, the NDC has been one government that have shown in the past. Wokaya, when President Mills was going to open, was it the N1 and Abuida? One of them. He invited President Kufuor to come.
Yeah, Kufuor mum. When he was commissioned the N1, President Mills. He invited President Kufuor.
Exactly. He invited President Kufuor. It was beautiful. I'm saying that the NDC have done it before. We will continue to do that. If Nanado have started something and he couldn't finish in 8 years, I'm saying that if there is a need, depending on the amount of money that the government of Ghana have to put in, he will be invited if there is a need for it. But we cannot be blinded by the unbelievable corruption where E-Gate, for example, refuses to open on the day of the lunch. We cannot continue to see these things and say, we are sure.
Oh, no, I said, go for my UTV and go for interview a for you.
I saw the kind on the day of the lunch, by the way. So we are talking about governance. For example, again, the Tema Plawu Road now, it was started before Nanado. Nanado came and continued. It is uncompleted, but they went and commissioned. It is still uncompleted. That road, the airport bypass near Denina was started before him, but then again, commissioning without completion. The secondary runabout, commissioning without completion. Like, we need to be serious in our country. And Nanado said he was going to build 5 interchanges in Kumasi. Not even one was built. So I'm saying that we have to move away from these things where we promise, say, the people of Ghana, and just say, oh, nobody have done it, and me too, I won't do it. No. Let us begin to let people call them accountable for the work that they promise that they are going to do. And will John Dramani Mahama need longer than 4 years to deliver? I am saying that if there is absolute need for it, then and somebody who succeeds him will come and finish the works. But I am very hopeful, and I am very, very, very glad to say John Dramani Mahama. And that is his second tenure of office. The statements and the things that he has put in place that he is going to finish, he will, by God's grace, finish them. And he will put in place, hopefully, structures. Let us put in place structures that work for our country. Why there is a police IGP who is an MPP man, but knows that this is the right thing to do. Why there is a judge, NDC man, but know this is the right thing to do. We need to push our country together. In the US, the Republican, how do you call it? Election director, whatever it is called, will sit down there and certify elections for the Democrats to win. That is where we need to push our country to. Where there is an IGP that doesn't care about the appointing authority, where there is a judge that doesn't care. For me, if we can have stronger institutions, that is stronger than the president. Are you aware?
But unfortunately, you are in power, and you have to correct all the errors. You are in power from tomorrow until you correct where the weaknesses are.
Are you aware that the South Korea president is
impeaching? No.
Hey, and they are in his house trying to arrest him. You say, hey, why will our country not see things like this? So I'm saying, sir, for me, if we can have a strong Yoko, for example, the whole of 8 years now, I don't know about you, Yoko have gone silent. Like, and then we see a whole special prosecutor that even Nanado himself put together, came and told us, even the special prosecutor that we put in place to fight corruption, let us build stronger institutions together as a people of Ghana. And I believe
one of the tasks NDC has to do, and they say under the 4 years now, help us to build those institutions, because one of the reasons why we elect leaders and said Obama Bekache to help build strong institutions, not strong men. So at least when they are legacy be Accra, one of the things that you should be able to help us to do. Maybe I'm people for no and chairman in Japan can and say failure. And the vote to no cry is an indication of the overwhelming failure. but you have the vote of confidence. Help us to correct errors no more, you know, so that Ghana can win in the end. I mean, but now I say, Prof said, what was some nana work and into they say need rebuttal be an equal callers no be boa. Munin as some nana more can say for the betterment of
Yeah,
Ghana.
only man all the prof na start here. And now the elikama bemo me
I don't
amena.
take count of when they make count. I chairman say miti be pie.
And only man in here because prof na start here.
You were talking when I joined, though. You were talking when I joined.
No, what I'm saying is that Prof have had a chance to speak again, whilst I did not.
So no can any came and say me what can about 1 term no. And
your chair and now the Prof Samba back we started the first one I'll call on SMBLAS.
What do you want to say, Chairman?
If you are somebody busy, can you bring the way no mercy go?
Now, time no
okay, let me just give myself maybe 2-3 minutes being ready. I was Elicum nsɛm a wɔka no prof nsɛm a wɔka no watwist no kakra prof deɛ no mene ne yɛ adwene ɛyɛ futuo because you see these monumental projects that MPP have started all around the country are many of them if there are no specific assignment in place say some of them will be tackled as I say, you share near twice one pa. Now a cocoy or say is cut the hoa, and yes, you cannot end now. Most of the time, no yarn and Jessica because when we say Obia started, you see a free 10% and no money why. And he says, Sana tear the uncle for we had the job 10% and dear you know Mokodia, Miss me bar, Miss Mako creating me media. Now my cock give me 10%. And you won't say a new manner look at Sofolai interchange. President Kofone started. You buy a crana, you try. After now, a book on me free. 80 minutes near happy on me buy Mako. Up till now, you cry, you try, pano. I still a cat, kakra, as I say, omutimi, every. Say, omujano ho, na omo me and yes, a crocrano, kakrana, as omodi twaso de kono. Na omuko jato. Definitely, they are going to be hurt in these areas. Agenda 111, and I repeat it again. It's not a joke. This we are talking about health systems, health facilities. First the doc prof because I was say school for years school tifie. And then as I said, nurses training and
it's a number of 5.8 million people so far. Free SHS.
And you know, so it's a huge. At the end of that almost say no. Say minua elicum ebe come back ye. Na woman ye assessment ni ye pa. Adwuma na da ho no even president Mahama he knows. You see when you're going into election because you want to win. We've all been there before. Whatever you will say for the people no I can say and throw kakra no crack kakra ni ade eti sa okeka ni nyina bomu a otwitwa bia fa mu a fine nyame aye na dom ne sa ka problem no a oso ope no teni osman ka oti yie pa ne sa be ka problem na oso ope no eti ne sa ka but enye who you see word be say ya faili we did not really fail in terms of structuring our country. But uhwemu pa yen baby a ya failing say yen timi an hwe yen kofo na e support yen ni ade ni e base no any sometimes na futu no bi o ha o mutu yen na yen say den tie papa no ni ade empire boy be born say the prof aka say papa na nipa e bitwa ne ho asia sesia no people who have had a great experience. We were talking about J.H. Mensah. If they will be like J.H. Mensah's people, and if they advise President Mahama and he will listen to them, then obviously he can just try and structure. The whole Ghana new money ain't me happy. Prof. Okana Elikam NTSN. This kind of a manifesto provision idea basi de ko akọchichiri o man no obi ani ho a watime wie ne de pen eda because the reason is wo ba no obi ajabi agu ho ama wo a wo cry and count de no and na wo no ese so sa ko fix some of them now the ba now the odi ani ba be hihye mu What you say? And so this particular time we are you, if you look at it, and if we are witness, look at the infrastructural developmental projects in terms of education sector, and now Papa it was this year, he's talking about crime in Ghana. Nanado Dankwa Akufo-Addo have done a massive improvement in crime, fighting crime in this country. Armed robbery pa na satamana NDC wo obati pay na nkofo kura ntimi mfa kwan so anadwo na nkofo yakodi wo mu niam ne ade ne ade twes wo so. When was the last time if you out says animal will be happening? And these are the areas.
I think that no can broad daylight.
Or no so omo ba wia nti omo so refra anadwo no tetenu mu na ba wia. And as an young Baba, yes, I say, no, about it, let me replace discotheque, no.
It's a 24-hour robbery.
Of course. Sana Ebeba, and yes, our horses say. That is what we are going to probably see if they don't go on to do the right things to make sure they project Ghana and put it on the right platform. As I say, it me if they don't go that line, now almost started by complain. No more for money and economy. You know, look, if you don't have a good economy and sound economy, you can't run your security, you can't run your transport system, you can't run your health sector, you can't run your education. And so these are the things that needs to be tackled first. They have to put their foot down and put systems in place to make sure that the economy grows. Because if you don't grow the economy, so see, I got 7.2% GDP growth. And the amount, Momo Komuja 3.4, and the 2 plus IMF do so 4 years. Now, now handing over to you economy that is growing 7.2. It's not really still enough. We still have the challenges of this, all the fundamentals stable here. But say one more metnase and unit sebio and economy nankasa foundation no. Now almost the bayi young conco sisi adan na saglami the baba back here the baba no mko chiche dia. They have to do
it. Because there was a court case, but they have to do it.
Many parts of Niaomuja na kika nyura muni na do na ye. President Kufo crowd the hospitals I was see ya na ye on one year jet projects ni and ya or 8 years or month me do na ye ni na sa say manifesto no mu. What I say, one district, one factory right now is yielding results for the country to raise revenue. But what I am saying to them is that omo say omo ora and cophobia kodi diska ya hu be paying atamos time. Omo ba omo di akronfo monti omo akronfo say omo ba ya we call near Jano. Ya we call near if you are now new. One more by ya ora tatra actually at the instead of so due diligence, I shall swan no more boo mine. Yeah, but this uncle Ako use a channel their momo. I must be cried the Sikaka Krabby. I almost saw the Koja bribe Bodia Kodiji Musika said Jaja. That is exactly the platform they are creating.
You are jumping the gun or so.
I'm not. I'm just trying to advise. I'm giving them advice. I'm not jumping the gun. I'm trying to tell them say. You will really have to think about the economy first, the macro economy. That is what, if you plant it really well, na so abano tisanka, na brain na tiagua mobia nyabiadia, and no micro economy no. So if they pay attention too much on the a little bit macro na ya grows, they say no, I have been no almost started titi na moment me and musun so no say buduano to form there. I know they almost Mexican for here and just almost free of money.
But probably they've already said that they know what they are doing.
But the prof starting now, their mama, they say magic.
I see a team, no.
Oh, your vampire town. Yeah, we show Eddie Kingsley. My namesake. You better see him. Now ya check here who say baby how far you can you tipa ye na de nam no ye de say no tipa ye na kofom kakra do kono no bo no e ba fom CD $2 no e ba and kakra. This is what you guys have to do because that's the reason why
pressure no ntem
yeah static onu ali kam na na wa be create this problem we am yeah ubo on ma ye ni edi nkomo ikama ye kra ye boy ndisi fo abaso no ni ade and onu di we be wura mu na say wa ma ye kwan ye bo room and ye scrutinize woman you. And yes, the communication here, no. Prof to no for say, only able to go, yes, I want to run the chairman money maybe.
Chairman, man, now I say, chairman, you can wear that. And you can say, one year my assurance 4 years, and at least you do your best. You know what the task ahead is, and yes, money. Until you do your best.
The work is difficult. The work is difficult, unfortunately. And unfortunately, some of the figures they are mentioning, this is the Charlie MPP, God should help our homeland Ghana and make Ghana great and strong. Dramani Mahama knows what he is doing. He knows what he has promised to the people of Ghana, and he would deliver. The rest of it, we can just live it. But you see, if you're building Ghana is not that difficult. If you are just imagine this for a second. If you think about the fact, maybe a year twamna, say ye cathedral. If you are, do you know those Queen's Tower now New York? No.
About 20 towers, Anna.
20 Tower, thank you.
20 towers, yeah.
You know, pay too ho.
Nipe gumuno. Makokaba elections order. I think 2012 U.S. elections.
Imagine Ghana put just 2 down there. And then these people are working in Accra Central. Do you realize that we would have cut down traffic?
You know, when him say every day, this is what I've been thinking. It's a Kaswa alone. You bet me accommodate Kaswa in Tracy Towers and Kwambe 4 and 6.
I'm telling you.
And we will manage the water, the electricity, and road.
Yes.
Meanwhile, you're spreading Kaswa to all this last mass area. Road is
it's not that difficult. For me, if I have my way, and I've said it already, that I'm not or no. Let us have a conversation with some serious developer. Let them build and then they own later. And yeah, for me, if we can, because you see, we need to build something solid, something higher than 50 floors.
Okay.
You see, the same thing that this guy did, Mugabe did in South Africa. Mugabe did of South Africa.
Mugabe, Zimbabwe,
no Mugabe, Bakono.
Thabo Mbeki.
No, Sesegu, former Zaire president, you know. Mobutu Seseko. Okay. Yes. He built some big one beings in Joburg, Charlie. It will contain the whole of Nima. And that is what we need to get to. Thank you guys very much.
Yeah, that's the case. The case they say they will deliver. I mean, no. And that's what Ghanaians want, said, to deliver and deliver and deliver. So already, I want my assurance, no, said they will deliver. Papa Jerry, good evening.
Good evening, Afisha.
Happy
New Year.
Oh, Happy New Year.
Oh no, I want the MJ, you know, Texas.
I will be a demo.
Texas, I was not behind home. Any problem?
You were 39.
Oh, sir.
Yeah.
But since more years no,
that is the Kamu Tomo Pao.
But yeah.
Well, someone just know, yeah.
No snow, but and then I'm 39, which is cool.
Okay.
Now, almost every me call Dallas. They only have the snowflakes. Now, your closest schools are holding as well.
Yeah.
I have flakes, you know. I have said, and penny for Becca said, you know, Marcus now, Offer K, which is chairman Kingsley. For the first time, Waka Makuma Swadi. The father said, "Oh, you use the word, let's wish Mama well." Wow, that be a maker sasem we say, "Wa ma unyonku and chan kwa, unsun chan ko dru hoda." And that has been a Ghanaian problem back compare what these two political parties from. Way back, mena mi ye way, and yamena mi ye no wajaho na ye Ghana ka. Right now, my advice prior to NDC for say, if I mene mama, so 4 years now come. Forget about a lot of campaign promises, Awama. Focus on projects at MPP Ejaho. Finish it. Agenda 111. If you are I say MPP for the bomb for him, but none of them is working. It is a mama somna optimi wie emu even crab about 60% of it. Employment a bit create youth no. Massive. If I were mama, I will focus on them. Oh yeah, now the campaign promise that in Kokon a good policy. Now, oh, your campaign, assemble our car, opponent take it in the wrong way just to tease you, to convince the electors, the voters. No? But it's a good policy. If you are a better man, I say, each and every home in Ghana, and I say, yeah, I'm work. Obia feel the money mortgage. Now, only just 200 beds in Kokokeke. Now, just 200 beds, no. On try, say, or the Yene farm. Now, apart from the regular farm, cocoa, and I say, cashew, and I be no one cook on bufia. Every morning and evening, they're going to pick up eggs. And no, yeah, extra income for inclusive for the one. Very good point.
Yeah.
You know, we shouldn't take it for granted. Now, MPP for they have no idea. It's better than the one that promised cell phone. Okay? Yeah, fair not to change. One thing Messia can be a comparison. So comparison no MPP for ye be my maybe MPP me be ball me am party for it. Say nipa na nya dinti ne yapamon and moma be take over. It ruba now say na me ya be we no mo kra mo ye say some time ago one parliamentarian be I think it was another in parliament ka say at to the state say NDC for galam say kra omu so no chen yen omu dia ma ho no kra ye de enuru ho. Look at that. Ufo say ansem we ka by be a we ase anyina du say a sabi thanks to Nana Akufo-Addo the free education abama nkola na sua de and plus these social media things, TikTok, Facebook, before we wasn't exposed to those things. It is a man educated, even classic for work no. Nana be to be the trend say man, idea it in same you might think the parliament now count. It only GBC. Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. Right now, anything you say at the whole train. About one MPP for Luciano. Near money, of course, by choosing a wrong candidate. I will say it and I say it again. They didn't listen to our advice. Some of them come here and about train on the Canada Ponkoya. Because your candidate also is a factor. So if you have me kojum na me koton adie. Na adie na me koton and me the tomatoes koye. Area na me de koye no. Me draw that be obias madam unin katie. Adie chan masia so tomatoes na kwa kuzi. Do you think I'm doing myself good? You have to change it and think and cut here then no be make you profit. Ghanaians were crying. Say Mofa Kenembra, where boss here me dancing. Even most NDCs were saying, say, if you bring Ken, we are going to vote for him because that time.
If said they could win easily against Ken.
That was it. No, they're not going to win against Ken. NDC for now.
How can you be so sure?
No. They
NDC can use against him.
Oh, no, apart
because
from
I want to before they give me or give me now your candidate. Will go against him.
And only MPP for a problem. They look at the negative and forget about the
MPP. As I say NDC would have used this against you.
And one country, if you or man yebebu anazi yebebu so obi akem.
If you are campaigning on the ticket of a party that you have already insulted and declared as useless, how can you come back and say mental mouth?
If you are insulting, what does that insult got to do with election?
And you insulting, maybe I'm saying as a work as a way describe what party say. O party ni bogus and you're useless. Now, but now so your candidate. And this we need to or no.
They would never if you getting it wrong because as someone can't not in the contest. He's saying say NDC for Enkoye meeting. Mama record family opponent. It in he's blasting MPP for say, Jimmy too much. Yeah, internal private meeting MPP near recorded their command opponent, don't call you soon and then he saw them. Me crack a no chance. Very bad. And so no, you did that them now. Ebi a woye deal be now you abejina bontia ka say, hey, police from me kunto wi. You know,
I saw penny NDC for the ticket tape from Omo party so bad on but I want to say MPP near NDC near Kodina did on the party for them. But this is Ken.
I fear Omo just don't come to public. That is
the issue. I'm not public. I was like,
I wasn't the reason I may challenge you. What Ken did was right. What I'm saying is and not does the alone lose election. If the NDC4 use that for the 20 big time.
Okay, you.
Because I know you're only personal with the party, but where you can't hold Ghana. And the Ghana force who win, go be say Gafidi Gadochi. And Niama can Japan or Ghana. Employ over 7,000. What Tisika over $6 million. What Sikadu and dialysis center. What timid in the fish for most Ghanaian soldiers. Individual, one person. Then of Johnny Maya to say Bible Casa baby Japadi or Honor Wakumawa. That's how Kennedy feels for Ghana. Eti kind almost you're switching Mukakran and Kasabi. You're about Miani Akufo Kotra.
It was that Kennedy Japan would have gotten a different result than results with. That's why
absolutely. Okay. I can bet on that. Absolutely.
You
38%. Kabana NDC for Tisu. Anyway, I know your secondary matter.
Campaign NDC are anyway.
Now, yeah, Kasano, who make you submission. Now, can be the reason why Ghanaian youth are leaning to NDC, which is a fact. All because of Abufo, any Kwanya MPP, a fast so you treating Ghanaian youth. Okay, add to the sense that most of even MPP youth cry no. The Omankasa TV social media blast their own party. So, say, yeah, of a K-Bekai, of a chairman K-Bekai, say, you're better to a near my year and coyer that same mistakes like we did before. Now, you're sure we internal election no one semuka. Before now, I'm on for 2 tier, if you are treso. How internal election, no, quite almost fast, who whip everybody to choose one candidate at the Abufoba. Kwaya president SCD nim timi jina ba bi say we me doba we say meanwhile no whole time no Kufuor sit back tama Kufuor ye bi or did deal between on the Martin. These same people fought for you. Said no, it was wrong. So why do you come and repeat the same mistakes? And on the day according to say before na apale apona no and then ye dey control position but okay, I'm glad sir for the first time ono agia to say moja enyunu ye yeti say right now na moja enyunu this is the time I kasa NPP 40 to me ebedi ensa you refi bibia because I quite remember say many of a chairman and a Kofitonto you host us ye kasai asema me catch them of a Ken Kofitonto almost sandwich me we was in the middle and so I said okay. If this is what you guys think, they are relaxed. Young Connie and Cohen, you tell me. Etienne, as I go me and Nina, Kofitonto frame. No, they may bo mammy. No, of a chairman's frame, no, they may bo mammy. Because I told them earlier on, say, where you guys are pushing Baumia to no more, say, Papani career. Right now, no, Mate underground work, they want to bring him back, I'm telling them, and I'm warning MPP again. Don't ever do that mistake again.
Saying.
To bring Baumia back, totally mess. Not this time. You have to wait. Mama sa ora ne one hono. Let it fade out. So what I say, Ghana for to the sense just after 4 years, who's like a bar? They'll take the because of MPP against serious.
Okay, yo. Over me and house. Over there to mom rebranding, resetting, NDC term, reset, and no here. What was good evening?
Good evening, if you yeah, Baumia dear. I don't think they say MPP for side in the bar. Because almost say attempt at in a bar. Now percentage needs to be cut down. About up to like 25%. No matter how much rebranded Baumia, polishing no, the way of casa, the way of behavior on stage, everything. School didn't know Harvard. No more train how to even talk in public, dance in public, whatever. I'm forgetting different candidates be number standing mom. Now
Kennedy Japan so.
Oh, Kennedy dear, I'm so a force kakra at least. More force than a Baumia. A party no as someone call restructure. So we are imagine so on what place party leadership no with favor Baumia they will be making the same mistakes. The party structure needs to open up. No more shame na omunye competition very fair. But omunye imagine so almost should pay everybody in line to go towards the direction of Baumia dia. Voter party can see more.
Okay. Okay. Mama, we start by expectation for inauguration or Chinanko.
Oh, expectation be they me expect anything big. A normal speech I actually go paper so about the kind, and then from there no merrymaking, and then everybody goes home. And expectation be I mean I don't expect anything big be
okay.
Now
but speech, don't you expect anything dramatic? But speech in there, I thought it to be very historical. Like Mahama will make some very prominent, profound statements in the speech. We've not heard him ever say before.
Oh yeah, that one there to be geared towards the oral kind of things, the way he'll be holding outgone public officers responsible for their mess. Nisanya money their baby. Now or they are encouraging Ghanaians there, they should be hopeful. And that and also reviving the economy, so and also become once and all of that. Now, before I start my point,
Hey, well, boy.
Hey, before I start the point,
before I started, Mahama can baby. Agenda 1-1 was overly ambitious. MPP for the NAM campaign, agenda agenda 1-1-1. Say in the who say out of 1-1-1, 3 pe and with a commission. But man for the D Mahama them say, Obia who health industry sector no interest war on. I don't know. You are talking against agenda 1-1-1. By Auntie I say, Akufo-Addo say Mahama complete agenda 1-1-1 and there's all just kebi atuho.
Okay.
Yeah, so when you man just kebi and atuho there, you shouldn't expect say Mahama Babe complete. Because what you man can say, uncomplete agenda 1-1. I don't know when you man can say cathedral and also Mahama complete. So pick and choose. And yet Nanado no bet to Swama Mahama what to complete and what not to complete. And
true.
Now profs who can be said no open more people in government, on pay reduction in government.
Also we should send more people now 4 years so to me they are yet do the project and do the promises.
If you have many profit and you're on that side because Akufo-Addo buy or increasing number to 120 something.
Yeah.
You all saw the results today. I don't know why we should increase it more and put more burden on the public coffers. And the more you appoint people, the more redundancy, duplication of effort, redundancy, deputy on the salary. We have to cut down the numbers. It is a Jumana who was it. It's a job for the boys now. It is a prof, a accession or an you need the now if you may besides Mahama ko come baby say on cancel 11 mana.
No, I think Kingsley Amaya clarification is over cancel. So, but I think Mahama initially was raising issues, and now other experts are catching and say, "Control no bonsa because you need fiscal space be our economy too." Or I should cancel now. We need revenue for be our shemwa. One cast promises now. Why in a bad day so be fulfilled. Because Ghana, you see, Ghana, you want would it your government work a salary and not sound? Nasa. It is small revenue near banner from taxes. Road was already a road to a few. The e-levy was supposed to replace road toll, and e-levy was giving us more than the road toll amount. Until the idea was, and no be pushing a kakra. Until the idea was, mine cancel abra unya for from fanchimo.
Yeah, but me believe it's a social contract. One year can kwan the atonko for a dream. No matter the situation, a baby obeka konya revenue be there cushion that no accounts and you also copy. That's why people voted for him to me my excuse be he needs to cancel it. One cancel there and they almost forget it 2028. It will go against them. Now before I'm not concluding, a prof Sosaka said or believe it's the NDC for no all their manifesto, they can't complete all their manifesto, or you should keyword no all. Yes, he's right. But he said Bisa Prof said time now MPP for NM campaign platform so Muka said they have completed 80% of their manifesto promises. No prof questions are assessed.
Oh, and the OTA prof on the question on Mudelia. In fact, that prof predicted some belus, one of the reasons why they might because of that.
Yes, because Obia and to me
okay, so one of the reasons why MPP will lose the elections was because Omo manifesto key manifesto promise will come to me. Until he questioned them. He was one of the people who questioned them all the time.
And assertion there, he's right. But that 80% now, a MPP for now more marking scheme, no more conjures 80%. You know. Obia interrogating, and one is a Omoni now campaign platform, no more there, no more they call. At the end of the day, we saw the results. This is a fear, that's it.
Yo, that's what boss. Uniana Bano. Good evening. So,
this is the usual thing. I saw the phone. And
I saw the phone of my question electoral commission. I'll tell my and what's she easy. I saw the vote go anyway. Because election results na Moody's future. Easy 981 if results no be. Yeah. That's when I come she is office. And another sika 11 sika ya nsuya o. Ya san pepe for first side ya kosi dan ma eyipo.
Omo haga na bank sika mu anga se mu na mu hia ni ba bibiri. Kakra na ye bo amama ya no so no mo sai no. Enti na na ya so fam. Anybody from phones me chia man, more from mine, more from hene me chia be obi ya da was say. Oba na oka ya bu mama etina ya mpuntu ju mama kru na kwaso sa na ye paper no and this is here I think say with the dynamic actually say election way there regardless of whatever the outcome no I'm very satisfied with the conduct of the candidates and the whole process and I sometimes feel like we have to sit back and also celebrate our country in terms of Myanmar kakra ya emma your country no nyam so yeden like, I mean, down for some other African countries. They just admire Ghana for the thing on the amateur. But Ghana for like I always say, you are so far. So if you think negative energy will come to you. If you think positive energy will come to you. So and can somebody when even you know you have some good things to show for. Also appreciate the little things now here and more now. It will be more minor. I mean, everyone will say will be differences, of course. I mean, NDC will have their own way of how they think certain things have to be done. MPP will have their own way. Movement will change. Many people have their own way. That is fine. It's good we hear every sides of the coin and then see what all these different views are. But there are also some collective good things. I say it also. And I think one of it is this transition team. What should we have transition team here? Transition team not this before. So one follow politics kakra. Transition used to be very chaotic until I think CS was And I even ever recommend they say we need to get a transition team law.
I think so. Yeah, I remember.
Birthday. So you see, democracy. We will see some of these cracks. With time, we will find solution. We'll fix it. Over time, we will get better. And today's transition team is far better than many other transition teams that we've seen. And that is how democracy affords you the opportunity to build on our institutions. I really want to thank Mampen their conduct, the way they are, going about the process. And even the elected president himself, his conduct and indeed mean at this time, I think, shows that level of maturity that you require of a president who is coming in. And I think,
Jubilee said they're not more cut. It was so beautiful.
So beautiful.
You feel so proud that a Ghanaian Okano. Europe, America, other nationals, no more Nigeria for they won't come for Ghana for no. But yeah, woman, I said who there was that.
Yeah, it says what time will be cram or yard the power. It's all one about because on yard the Panaman who or mine, for sure. It bodes well for the country, it bodes well for the business community, for the investment community. And that was one thing that Baumia also said when he considered it. He said, you see, I always say what you saw. There's no way holding the country to ransom because there are people who have invested money who are watching your country, and any of this political miscalculation could make them react in a certain way. Will see the no dollar can sometimes it's not necessarily based on the fundamentals. Even expectations, uncertainty about how people feel about the political climate alone can send your CD or a currency wayward. So they are and their conduct, and I think has been very commendable. I want to commend them at this highest level because it's not easy losing an election, and your mama has been there before, and Bobia probably has been there a number of times, but this time he's there personally as a person. Until when people lose election and they have people win election and they are behaving in that manner now, if I say about my boss, and I'm really proud about our conduct, and I want to say, in Chirimano, Sabi, these are the best practices we have to all learn. And yet, Mahama will still come and do what he has said he's going to do. That doesn't mean that when Mahama comes, he will not hold MPP accountable, or if he has somebody will be other ball minor corners or and they are buying the argument, he will still go and perform those functions. The workers of Nobedia also disagree with MPP. That disagreement will not go away. The fact that he did the right thing or he was very open in the transition process. He said, yes, sir. If he said there will be no much more acrimony and parliament also. I think say maybe a parliament Kofi Amabua if he say politics there, but so we are.
But I don't even see anything wrong that he did, except that he said, "Sir, parliamentary right here, can say against each other." I think First Lady Nidiana was about how personal it was. Papa, when you lose your coffee,
yeah.
So who attacking it personally and not because Rebecca Kufuor very hardly said or very reacted to Niamasa. So I thought, no, this one they really got to the woman.
I could follow your say, who said, so who your president, you can feel. So I can appreciate my man also, but he's coming in as a wife. This time he wasn't reacting like a first lady, but he was reacting as a wife because when I win the struggles, the midnight sleep, people are just coming and going. Why are you crying? You might not even have access to maybe 2-3 hours a day. Because he's everybody's, point of contact. I can appreciate or no like I say, it's a democracy. I mean, there's nothing wrong here based on the Kofi Amabua kind, but I thought he should have said it a different way. I mean, a more parliamentary way, but I mean, that's how you want to express it. That's fine. Sister Pia, inauguration, I want some year as you see, organize the Independence Square. I think they say about my basso, or share our candy, a Jumano. I think that they are really putting out a good job out there. And today I was happy to see the president-elect the transition team and the way they entered Jubilee House and how Akufo-Addo received them. I think Akufo-Addo, something about so. I say something more personal, maybe I want mania, but largely, I think watch a lot of Myanmar that is possible within this democracy. And I think whatever happens, as for me, I think he will go into. In my lifetime, I've never seen an impactful president like Akufo-Addo. In my lifetime, that's my opinion. I've never seen a very impactful president like Akufo-Addo. I hope that, John Mahama will surpass that, and I also see another impactful president in my lifetime, and then that will become, a higher standard and higher standard going forward. And this is if you're China, bomb fire, as we said, but my reacted to me, Jerry, as in your kind. Auntie Jerry.
Just a quick one now on
Yeah,
you.
Auntie Jerry, that's what I said. Some between alternate before Kono Makoyi or a flag bearer. I'll support that flag bearer. But say, and there is an attitude to make it look like, say, when a particular flag bearer is there and I disagree with him, I don't support him. Okay, so and the empire is our if you don't support him about me, or 38%. The empire is 38%, you know, when you have about me, also no matter. Or now, candidate bar, will you expect this 38% people to follow you and go and vote for you? Until you see, it doesn't help anybody. And Kennedy Japan Nankasa Prado lose the election. He was on the platform again campaigning because he knows, sir, it takes everybody to win an election. Into more time than China, more yes, and I think some more Hannah. And I don't think, sir, that is fair to Kennedy Japan. Because the man, in the constituency, I know, Sister Pia, after Baumia campaign, Kennedy Japan did not put the candidate. Or they came back to that constituency campaigning and became Mike personally talking to the people. And you know, Mr. Ramo, Jerry Moyasana, you create animosity for the man, and I don't think that is fair to him. Moyasana, Mumwano. So, you can't not about one year for 2. The electorate can choose anybody. There's no guarantee said to be Canadian Japan in that season, and I say to be Baomiao. It could be anybody because elections, we are now politics, so there are times and seasons. Seasons who are sister Fiamframana Bono, a bit about a war hair,
that's so true. That's so
true. Very careful about these things. They're making sure, say, whoever the party, whoever the party elects, you know. I mean, let's all be there to support the party.
There was Dr. Dufo, there was Kojo Bonsu, but they all rallied behind the President Mahama to win the elections. I agree with what you are saying. Good evening.
Good evening from here in Mafia.
Expectation for inauguration or
oh yeah, so far no, we are expecting nothing but the peace and the harmony that has glamoured this transition after election, the post elections. No, you could see say for incoming president, the president-elect, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and the outgoing president, both transition teams, they've positioned themselves in a manner portray maturity, political maturity in our political ecosystem in Ghana. No? You could see say it has become an envy of other countries. Or sometimes, yes, we say sometimes maybe a Ghana you call elections are Obi Subenya Nanka DCC a man for man so nake BSC wa Ghana. You see how it is. Obi but we say to that extent. And he said yeah, Yura Baumia conceded defeat. Now offer the on one in your penny Yura John Dramani Mahama congratulate they talk means that we intro him na say Yura John Mahama ne Baumia kontoka and that is the beauty of it. You see how it is. And rather many will be cast Ghana say what the NDC here, why Vinia no ma power, but I will benefit from it more than you. I want to say answer the bad who knew our Hana we were Hana saying bad will be a political ideology. Will be an idea. And if my brother is fighting for something at this moment, I also support him 100% to fight for it. You see how it is. So this is what we need to expect, and we need to learn from these quality leaders in Yamido Mama Yang. It's not about insult, it's not about attack. Now what can be said? Say more Hano and it did we don't insult. For say many Uncle Paco is in Yadrian. Beko coordinatem. In coordinatem. We mean director, manage home, mean manun traminia penny. And that is not how we were brought up. You see how it is. So going for these are the things that we need to learn. NPP Lusu, fine. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to be an NDC because me mujana was on Uchamia, a blue, red, and a white but me NPP ni. As we said, no, the big how to regroup, reorganize ourselves, and come back together and maybe forge ahead. And as for tomorrow, everything is going on successfully. You could see there will be peace, and we are not expecting anything much. All that we expect is that glamorous harmony and peace. You expect to say continue at Ghana. As you Rajon Mahama promise Oba, Obia Disika, Obia from Omanisika of manager Padia, you have the mandate, you have the power, you have everything to just release all the ammunition that you have in a lawful way, legal manner way, retrieve it for the state, and that is what we all want. You see, say enquire that eta esebino.
Obia benumbi.
I think say kudos to the incoming president and congratulations to one His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and Julius Moa. Ya point to me Uncle Julius Mo. And he Yame Adoma, you say Bibia Sumje.
It's already more than no.
Yeah, if you're down quanta, into on the Yanino, any did.
I think of you or assume so because my name we are not
down quanta. I go backwards, made the dear jow. Seba catch it all, but trouble to me, the jow.
Back with the Vino, Nova Scotia, home baby is disconnected. You lost, that was before the Eastern Regional Chairman.
Yeah.
We was at the funeral, but meaning so office whom I mean so that side.
Oh, if father side if you're down contact. Into only the hands, and then the word down. Eja, and Uncle Papa made the edge out in slow.
You follow my ideologies because you're busy. And Chamberlain and young quite one of but I think it's very sad though. I mean, if you are following because of what you stand to gain, that is
third party politics. You just have to understand that's the reality of third party. By the way. Yeah. A lot of people join parties for opportunities because usually in a party and they are cut off from opportunities.
Yeah, and that is very bad.
You also fight, but that's a third party.
Uncle, there are a lot of NDC faithfuls they are waiting for these petty things. So when you ranting against the party, their own party.
Well,
that's how it is.
Well, some of us we follow simply because we want the generality of it. Because
because you have a better opportunity somewhere. They can be as what and a common and can you also fall into that? It's unfortunate, but a situation.
I get it.
Common dinner. Into the party, but no, yes, or person, bonnie, but or person to near you, a man on your school feeding, he say. Women organizers who work on radio and about Yakaka. No, so they are moving on so Yakaka every day. It's just the situation.
It is a man is a producer on supply tomatoes school and Chinko school. No,
to the Yakaka. Situation, no, I tell your country come.
Well,
your country come.
If your mom was this is my friend of the year mobile platform though. Last year. I mean, before the election, maybe I'm about to catch you. But this year, I'm about to view. As we introduction, if you're catch you, you do have me for you no kodo. Say, it's said you be catch you ya born and ya boy son by force. Yeah.
Maybe I'm used to insult into I'm
missing it there. Men sure miss me with you, men sure be away while they with my bamas in there. Don't even dwell on the obi be sure hoba. Say ye them insult me fima. Ye them conversation they will na make some oba be shima hoba. Ye fima. One of what shahoba when ye view because they've been
doing it for years.
We have some people
they've been doing it. The reason why I me meaning there.
Yeah.
Very few people, especially women, matter I'm better 3-4 hours. It's not one menu for what's not 30 minutes I board because you are not created for air. So it takes a lot. But there's nobody, a civil servant, an accountant, or nobody will come and insult you. There must be no point in time where an opinion by another person should attract insult from another person.
You may not be for a fake account to be it just want to be the idea, the main idea is is to derail you from what you are saying. One problem now, on your way, as American or Brunage and Mental said, the only thing order I end up being roba. But I'm missing it there. Last time, I catch show. My catcher that or China Yambo 7, Yabon pay, maybe I could do Jojo. Up, but do we are. Moko back the whole of last year. Obi Bialo Shema Roba because of politics. I mean, they should be. My catcher, for any reason.
Now what?
Oh, no, no. Reasons I make about the show. Listen, Obi Bialo Shema Roba last year because of politics. Low key, I mean, moment double. But me and the base for you. No, my double number man, I say as Kunta, as some American or Shema Roba. The reason why I was Shema Roba, what I said there. No, he lacked the understanding into Shema Roba. Until next time, so we can some say and Tassa more than it be sendo. I am in Tassi check him instead of a Shema Roba. Mom can I say, other than and what parliament in Portugal, I'm a coffee boy on cash. As someone you're normal. The president Nankas in Port, I say, no, but you're no MP. And you on the time, and you more other presidents. You see, for our first lady to go that tangent, I mean, for me, it was not even necessary for the media to even blow it out. Bibi them no bumpa. I mean, there's no need. But
put the concern
since it's not also.
Bad news sales, you know.
If you want you, then you there power. You might get better 1,000 years. Now what time also? But now could you for the be new position? New position. You feel fulfilled.
You couldn't have gone for another term. 8 years now. You couldn't have gone. They will be partying all over the place with the NDC people.
Only that time or power you catch on there. You may we shall be true. The power then one day to come to an end. How do you do? Much of coffee break, social media, no, we do bomb pay. A channel point soup tonight, in two, in San two.
Yep.
Oh,
in two, in San two, in whom two, it will come on. About working. See, elections is over. And this may be one risky. All we have to do is just we have to wish the incoming president well. Sorry, some of us will just say it as it is. But we are very, very critical. 8 years, one kasa ne poncha one to 1 and 2. One kasa. Woman here ya kasa ni ayanka. Mam can it asa. If you our MPP abeli and a insane MPP crowd a kebi. And because you are not scared. You are bold. You saw vision. You saw vision as a king. And see our Mahama na ban na somebody to be but as of now. What's your animal kingdom? No, when you see one shot, uncle, one shot, animal, if I one shot, cartoon super count. Mom, Kasa. I thought for now, why prayer, what bomb pay my Ghana now? 8 years ago, they lost their voice into one bomb pay my Ghana view. Yeah, banana, Mahama, but when you crusade be or you be some.
On our bottom, so I can if they talk, what will you do? You can't stop them.
If you what can say one?
You can only insult them, but you can't stop them from talking. It's freedom of expression.
No, yeah, insult.
You guys went to exercise it.
If you are 2025, Mama Castle show from this year, 25 years ago, Obiani should be a robo. And then I can't catch away elections. No, Kofu should catch the Shilinsi, a boat about the paper. No, the FAC. 25 Ukraine. We are not, you know, piano time. Yes, you are robot. What I want the year some time past on Elizabeth questions. It is a raise issue being an issue. The same issue happened 4 years ago, and now 3 years ago, and now 2 years ago. You be so there. Why did that time no Obeno Ankasa? Mam can answer. Obiara should be a robot.
That's a fair question. Okay.
Yeah,
that's otherwise one you've lost your chance to speak. Mr. Einstein, Good evening. But Mamika Joyce to say the insult there is only in Ghana. You never see that in UK. But Ghana, they be near the other insults near at the any effect. Appear Jones sometimes you have to call a spade, yeah. But calling a spade doesn't mean that you have to insult. And I Joyce for saying if you are sometimes insulting is too much. There's a job in there are no jobs in the country. Bibia no akakoya atem didi and uncle for didi atem. Ange saying good evening.
Hi, Ray.
What you going to?
Yeah, Bishop.
I can go back here.
Ejumana friend, definitely. Obasha, when you are speaking, you can be added. Instead, one day before that, you don't have to go there too, because I can truth and continue the other when they'll be better. Obi impe and see. The more I definitely you can let know the outcome and see. Feel that now I will show so that I'm the most of us, you know, the power continue. Most of you know welcome to me. See, sometimes if they are using the people as citizens of Ghana, and how it should be. But say that I could find okay, baby, about Ghana whisker. No, he is not.
What's the Ghana what day?
I see a whisker about the whole country, you know. Yeah, as you
Oh,
are
GDP,
not,
okay.
as you are not poor. Okay. And also, President, but most of us, they know that Ghana is not poor. But in welcome to Minalankasana, it seems like a lot of us know. We are Ghanaian by birth, but party, you know, we are birthed by the party. The party need the NM, we are supporting the party, whatever he wanted to do. Whether it's by the Papa no Mukomi Fancy, no like baby. I want me because sometimes, you know, and here they be because of party, more no corner, you have to say it. And here they be about because of BB. Because most of one I can say, and if you're for them, I can a far on watch on, and educating one. And the my back out, one so damn no way than what you do. And to say before the beer, I would look at the party, she whereby a beer for the beer on your right by mobile unity, I would do the then that means I think we are going to be sold to a book of fear, but my back can what you to see before the out there, young who there, part equal no head and yapping ye. Say, Kono was sick, why the 10 piano? Yan shake go here, it's in way. Morty. Ghana was sick. Na yan shema equal than Ati. It's in that case, you know me who I know that Mahama is a good guy, but in your uncle say about president of Abahina. You could say about your America, your Italy, your friend Britain, your a lot of Canada and all Canada. The answer couldn't was no Kuno was country the was and you are applauding them that they are okay. At least they future of Albano. One are they actually could not be the help you in 2 years time. I couldn't be a year, no could be. This is a time I going to be a party. Next time we are Nicono, Morta, not here about British school then. Tell me that was in Yamabi school then. That mean I have responsibility. I mean, be out there.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yes.
What is the key area Peter Mahama focus on the next 4 years?
Mama is good, but Nia tell me I'm accountability. Accountability not do more Ghana. Ghana could accountability in you because we are sure that Bahamas infrastructure, remember why be sure one meska on for you, one for you day, one for them over. But if we are on one I'm the chief on the workers and was it what I can remember was it say painting if you know we no worry in car. Okay. In that case, you know. So we're saying I could father I may never say this. I can't say that he's a bad man. But that's okay there. Whatever is going on, what was he doing about it? And so in that case, you know, problem more being and we know we can share by for the minority leader. Whatever he's saying about you. For that, I don't know where did the whiskey now call. The what didn't involve. We in the system working in another than OJ. Because there's supposed to be a AD. And in that case, you know, I would who they couldn't wobble. I can't be now than outdoor Juma. I can't be now Juma. I don't think that it could obey, but if you no business school, then go. A customer with hospital next day, okay. Yeah, but actually other countries here, African countries, but yeah, in us no one. They are developing. And it's a better than the same time, residential area in Okota. Maybe a phone, maybe a son, a Juma. Citizens why that when you like be there. Citizen when you how do when you at least I do try the Damana shed out baby no. the actress no so region be ahead one ejuma way of hono on for one no ikonu tumpo ntin case so ma kwane dia the president no bohwe ntembia no minister just come na ntama me hu how because it keep on switching so no change but now you switch because this year no
I like that.
MPP for this year also correction well correction na but that mistake ke be Mahama be bia no Ghana for no be if you third person no be be nko nkasa no okay lo sisi ayenya e for the Canada Japan no so ba nti Canada Japan will be better no asan so to MPP na MPP so aba the same thing na nti actually na ya na we have to educate if you have wetin we hu more there anya dem dey attend bia no ma ba ya na attend bia so make there na be mpa if you book of you nti na t-shirt na ya shako
na ya kwa na ebo hu
t-shirt na ya shako no so ya white ya sha metro 4 5 ebo hu na t-shirt in adam I say if you for now say that and obey the same thing no one sometimes I there for because if you're not going to say maybe what are you going to eat but don't know if they know how to maneuver whatever they can and in that case I'm for that I was there who married never for the no we get MPP in the NDs in the you know focus about the country in the corner.
Mr. Henson, I like the fact that every day that we should stop this NDC MPP and focus on more Ghana in the long term. In the long term, I like that. But Prof, Jubilee also say the insults and we can't ignore it because even guests badwa people just blatantly come on and just disrespect them. Not also on your fine. At least money be and woman we at least educated no. We know that at least we can respect each other. And debate is supposed to them things they can kebi. I mean kebi. It's not about insult. You can be no biswa can be, you know. So insult is not kebi mamin kebi. When you take the conversation to insult, you completely lost the game. Force Joyce of you know, there's insult there. If you're a Ghana how now just sit as a Ghana no the Canada Japan they any liar and Papa Jerry they be oba Canada Japan now so we kazan channel and yet Canada Japan no bet me save you before no form winning a year. Ebuja for mama na munyina ma say na mo join on Jasu Jubilee. Thank you so much. If I live Kings Jersey Radio, ne High Live Radio, ne Naspa Radio, and other Papa Media or UK. And we got you FM so Ghana, but it's been live on 101.7 FM a official platform and honey broadcast. If I'm a Vim lady, Wednesday, Yakupon Yaduma Ebeshia. But Mamija way, this is me bra penny Carlos Ahenkra. Community nana yetema. But me mami to say me mami. Or see on of course snatch ballot paper or you know parliament. Me kufa to can Ghana see. It's very interesting. See, let me leave you with that video. Yakupon Yaduma Wednesday Ebeshia.
Me kwa yadi ama nipa sere. Ana me kwa yadi ama 7th French yadi history.
Okay.
Because me kwa koye ade ama me party ama kufu ado aban atumi akodanim.
Okay. Unu ya no man support no e ma wo regret or action nana.
Me action no although regretted because me were busia, me were here, me were ma. They were affected by what happened on social media and all these things. But I never regret doing that for my party. And I will never regret it.
I won't regret it.
Oh, they be regret.
How say ebia ede wo manu koto asemu but enu hu pa de we
no na make catch no make and make say me.
I know
there's two different things. Say me yi me family free me, yi me na for free me abusu free mo. What I did was not wrong. Now,
so wunya chance ya say bisi will you do that again?
So person would say enu asia. Enu answer no be free say. Ma anya we ama me ho. Me ye ma hwan Ekufuado. But the Ekufuado me ye ma no kwa no appreciate it. That is why I won't do it again.
Okay.
So what you say me ye bibi say and an kaso CD say ba bi anwini and an Kenya NPP ni e be see because sika no kwa to the 10 parliamentarians. Sika no kwa.
Okay.
It is a 137. Now the speaker e go do on side that. Parliament is on your side.
All right.
E then na what to me a whole country budget is about bagu. Can you ma to in parliament up to this stage? Say yes say Babi and a speaker and MPP near and say we would have moved smoothly and this election would have been won by us easily. But she and name Mama Crabon Abbas was retaining. She has walked and said, "Oh, can't be or boy and NDC winning here because of what they did to us in Parliament." A Kufuor maybe your man, no, he didn't see it.
So I can say and Kabag so I fair
speaker. How fair can you be?
NDC for no crown so abonechi. No monsoon in any
way. Who is speaker, you do the bidding of the sitting government. Because Parliament, when I'm buying a coso. I near my
constitution in a canisa and as a momo politics in a
the constitution. And as something you can want it. Or say it's not in the bosom of Parliament to determine how the country is developed or run. And you are buying on a share by the running country. Or the Parliament, you don't have any business but to reject it. Let it go on.
Because judiciary, there were 3 arms of government. Judiciary, Parliament, and aban executive ni sujina nti se okasa we speaker na se say we bidding of government nti say emra na kana say the politics within the politics
and the politics within politics identity and sitting government and sitting president no and abuasaleti speaker because una obama tie ya to abama president bi ya to abama government bi abana to man say on financial share power be develop kuri emra nti ye growing nation as I say everything that he thinks is okay by us. Next 4 years, it will be anything. It is when next speaker about one sir and you man of us anymore. Yeah. How do you reconcile this?
I Parliament needs to be independent now. As a check on the executive.
How do you become independent? Tell me how a parliament can become independent when it's not in your bosom to determine how the programs of the country is run. And yet parliament is say about
you approve the executive.
Executive that is why we call it government business.
Okay.
And the leader of the house is the one that runs the government business. Every day, or not the cabinet, in the way we are, or the ABA, or the back table office, or the speaker, okay, when I'm the what about 2 more? We don't have any business to reject what they want or what the sitting government wants to take ahead.
Then that would be like a rubber stamp parliament.
Why do we have this system? We have it because every time we are enter one tower, any maintain what's in the Bekoso. Share parliament. One of the worst, and I said the worst parliament, if you ask me, in the Fourth Republic. Why? Because of everything that has gone on. If we say NDC for started some year and to Kwane maintain was in day, we will not be able to do anything at all. No law, free SHS. I see any law, Ediaba. Oh my yeah, and passes our law. No. There's so many things that couldn't pass. Why? Because the speaker who is sitting in the seat is not for the government. And that is what has happened. Na se me ye and anka omu kura me ye mo benefit no ehu ye. Ebo ma baso na se omu ma baso kura omu recognize ya. Ebia nka nye se bebi edui enya kwa kodro.